Dreams be dreams.
Hello there. Welcome to my stream. I'm alone. No, I'm not. Let me say welcome to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, I know I could make it weird. But anyways, welcome to Makercast, where we talk about projects that we've made the last month. No, we didn't. And we don't. So, hi everyone in the chat. Hi everyone here.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Dave.
hide now. Hello. I'm weirding myself out right now. Okay, so maybe we'll start with the group, and everyone can say something about themselves because that's what we do. Let's start with bitluni.
I was distracted by the stream in the background.
You're next to me. You just have to tell everyone who you are and what you do.
So, I'm bitluni. I'm a maker on YouTube, and I'm doing a lot of crazy stuff for LEDs or ESP32 stuff and such things.
Very nice. All right. Yeah. Why don't we go on with Brian then?
There's definitely an echo. I bet it's bitluni. Hi, I'm Brian. I'm from Ireland. I do videos mainly around kind of web stuff with ESP8266s and ESP32s. I'm more helpful than bitluni. I have a war going on with David Watts, apparently. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
A war. We got to talk about this. But now it's David's turn.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'll talk about myself. Sure. My name's David Watts. I'm a sort of maker on YouTube. At the moment, I'm messing about with some Commodore 64 stuff, but most of the time it's Arduino or Raspberry Pi related stuff. Actually, that's not true. I'm trying to avoid microcontrollers, so I hate coding most of the time. So I try and use a lot of CMOS ICs, which don't require any coding. So that's me.
Nice. Awesome. So now in alphabetical order, it's Arturo's time to talk about himself.
But then if it's alphabetical, how did we skip Chunky?
How were
Your
you
turn
that
now.
first?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hi, I'm Arturo, and I should have something prepared, but I don't. So I make stuff, and sometimes I put it on Tindy, and sometimes I stream, but not very often. And I do stuff. Put it on Twitter.
Yeah, it's been a while. I want to see your streams.
Yeah, I have a new microphone, so maybe it's time to come back.
It is. And you started here. Wonderful. All right. Yeah. Basically, a quick new addition. Yes, it's your turn. I wanted to introduce you why you're here and not Timon, but go ahead.
Yeah, I shouldn't be here. I gate crashed the stream just to see how the stream looked and just to talk to the guys to say hello. And I kind of got, I was going to say, I shoehorn myself in, and Dave is too polite to say, get off the stream. But I am chunkysteveo, and I am a maker who doesn't seem to make a lot. I do a lot of 3D printing, open up a lot of AliExpress bags, but not recently. And
Not today, please.
No, I'll have a big backlog. Yeah, so I've been quite busy this month, but anyhow, that's me.
Nice. Yeah, so we all were saying and thinking about what we could show.
Wait, Dave. Dave.
Yes. Did I forget someone?
Yourself.
I know it's your channel, but there might be other people here from elsewhere, but you've forgotten yourself.
Probably. I mean, the last video I posted was 10 months ago, so people were like, who's this guy? Why did
On
I
your
subscribe
channel,
to him?
on your channel, but not on.
The Wobble.
Yeah, on my channel. So
Yeah.
The Wobble
Yeah,
condensator wasn't that long ago.
right, but then there was a long break. I think the last video that I posted was the ResinCast
Game Boy.
handheld
We
Game
all
Boy
need
thing.
a break
Yeah.
sometimes.
Exactly. No, I wasn't. I didn't take a break. I was just working hard for Element 14 Presents, where I do 3D printing, electronics, and more. Did I really do that? Yeah, I did. Right. So,
Awesome hacks.
yeah. Regrettable acting.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, I did some regrettable acting recently again because my no, it's right there. This little guy over there is done. I've sent in the video, and Friday there's going to be a release. Oh yeah.
The robot, yes.
Yes.
Johnny 5, no. Johnny 6.
So I shouldn't really talk about it, and you've all just signed an NDA.
Oh my god, he's
just by
so
looking
cute.
at it.
That is cute.
Wow. That
Yeah,
thing
he
is
does
awesome.
does so many things. So I worked on it very hard and checked off everything on my to-do list that I wanted to do, and it's gonna be nice.
Oh,
But yeah, that's something that I was working on for a long time, and now I'm in a. I just watch Community on Netflix.
I love
kinda-
Community so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I've
great.
seen it before already, but I am binging it again on Netflix. It's so good.
no idea what it is.
No, I've not heard that.
Just
Missing out.
hang up from this talk and go watch Community. It's a better use of your time than this.
It's great.
It's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Is it a documentary?
No, I guess it's a sitcom,
Yeah.
but it's quite different than regular sitcoms, which makes it probably sound like we're, I don't know.
It's very
yeah.
funny.
I think it's a lot like Scrubs. There were so many side quest things, and it's funny and 20 minutes. And yeah, if you have withdrawal from Scrubs and have watched it too often, watch Community.
Just
Yeah,
watch
but
like
it's also
5
self-aware and like quite
Yeah.
meta, so that's really cool.
I mean, Scrubs was
Alright.
that too. But yeah,
I would, if we're going on that tangent, I would recommend Altered Carbon on Netflix.
I didn't watch the second season.
No, I
completely,
watched
so-
the first one. And
The first was awesome. It's the best sci-fi series out there.
I
Like
heard,
modern.
I can see Dave. I can see Dave going.
I'm just thinking, Dave, really, you should break. You're the host. You should break this chat up about TV shows.
we kind of should stop that. But then again, I want to talk about The Expanse as a better sci-fi show. But yeah, no, we don't do that. Well, yeah. So everyone was talking about not having really worked on projects, right? But is there anyone in this group who wants to talk about projects?
I have some stuff I worked on since the last one I was on, which was a while ago. So I can talk about some stuff.
It's been a while that we both were on one stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were meant to be
even when-
we were meant to be in the same like city a week ago, but or 2 weeks ago. But that's
And
let's
next
not
week
talk about that.
too. Next week
And
too.
next week too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Sad times.
still need
sad
to
things.
get my refund for the flight.
don't
yeah.
talk about
The
that.
voucher.
Is it right? Is it Ryanair?
No,
One of mine
it's
is.
Serbia Air.
How do I make Brian not me? No. How do I make me
You click
Brian?
on me.
Yeah, you click on Brian.
It only says remove from stream. So
No, if you look up to the left of his icon, there'll be a little square, or it's a 16 by 9 that you can click on.
solo layout.
Hey.
How do you
Okay,
remember this?
I forgot to make my camera be manual focus, so this should be fun.
He thought he'd be all clever with his OBS camera and his
Yeah, you know it. I'm going to make it manual focus because it's awful without it. Okay. Right, so this
Don't
is...
mind me. Oh, it's me again. Hi.
this is going good. Okay, so this is a regular TS100, which obviously is not what I made.
No, don't hold it like that.
Well, it's not on, so it's okay.
Stock footage.
So not an ice stop.
Smells like chicken.
It tastes like chicken. Nom, nom. Yes, so this is my TS100, and there's something kind of interesting that I haven't used the power supply from my TS100 in about 2 months because I've been using USB Type-C to power it. So this is something that I thought was really interesting. The Otter Iron project by Jan, I can't think of his second name. Henrik. So he replaces the entire inside of the TS100. It's a super awesome project. If you just look up Otter Iron, he has a replacement PCB, but this powering it from USB, what I'm doing here is not the same as that at all. So this is a completely stock one. So what I'm doing is I'm making use of USB-C power delivery. So this little wire here negotiates 20 volts from your power source and then just provides it out over the barrel jack. But the problem with that is, like, this works fine. So there you can see. Can I recommend the TS100? Yes, I really like the TS100. There is one thing that I'll actually get onto in a second that I think is really important to get sorted. But other than that, I really like it. So this is it being powered from my power bank, actually. This is a power bank that can do 60 watts, so 20 volts at 3 amps. This needs about 2.4 amps at 20 volts. So there we go. It's heating up and it flies up. But the problem is that this is too heavy. The wire here isn't that flexible, and then you have the whole weight of the connectors. So I don't like that. So this was the problem I was just talking to, or just mentioning to Bleep Track then as well, was the power supply that came with my TS100, the wire wasn't flexible enough and it wasn't that great to solder with. But you could buy these cables that are super flexible, and they're for powering it off like a battery pack from like a drone or something, the an XT60 connector. So, oh, perfect. What good timing.
Like a boss.
Professional. Let me just do not disturb that. Yeah, so that's fine. So I made this PCB, and I only have one of them at the moment, but so I can't take it out of the shielding or whatever. But it's basically just it has a barrel jack on one side and a female or a male XT60 on the other side, and then you just connect this kind of off-the-shelf cable to that, and then you have a super flexible cable going to your TS100, and yeah, there you go. So there's my TS100 being powered off a battery bank. Now, I don't normally use the battery bank. I normally just use my Mac charger, but yeah, that was something that is working out okay. I'm also kind of in the middle of designing. So I call this my flexi friend. So it's just got that barrel jack and the right-angled XT60 connector. So I'm in the middle of designing one that will have USB-C on it, and also the IC to negotiate power delivery. And yeah, so I'm waiting for samples of them to arrive, the IC, and once I have them and I've made a test circuit, I will do that, and hopefully it will work out okay. I have no idea where my soldering iron stand is now, and I've got a hot soldering iron in my hand. Perfect. I think I can just stand it up. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so that was one of the things that I was kind of half working on. The other thing that I made was, so bitluni and Aaron Christoffel released a video there recently enough around the CH559 for USB host That was on bitluni's channel. But if you check out Aaron's channel, he's been doing work with that style of chip for a while. And another one that he has used before is the CH552. So it's the same company that makes the CH340G that is on most of the cheaper Chinese ESP32s and ESP8266s. So it's not an Arduino compatible board. It's based on 8051 architecture, which is about as far as I can describe, about as far as I can explain this. But what this chip is capable of doing is working as a USB HID, so like emulate a keyboard, and it also can do UART at the same time. So what this board is, you might notice it's about the same form factor as a D1 Mini. And what I'm trying to do with it is make it a HID shield for the D1 Mini. So it will, slot into your D1 Mini, or your D1 Mini will slot in on top of it. And they'll communicate using UART or serial, and then it will convert commands from the D1 Mini into HID commands on this. So it would be a way of like kind of having a Wi-Fi device emulating a keyboard and mouse. So that might be useful to have as like a controller for, if you have a Fire TV under your TV and, you want to control Netflix using your phone on it or whatever, or just a bad, what is it called? A bad USB or a rubber ducky or that type of a thing. The ESP32S2 will probably be all that and more really easily, but I think that's a good bit out yet in terms of the to be able to do stuff in the Arduino IDE with it and things like that. So this doesn't work yet. I have like a couple of sample sketches that Aaron wrote for the HID part of it, and that does work. It's kind of a nifty chip if it was a little bit easier to use. Like it has capacitive touch support on a few of the pins. It can do the HID stuff, and it's interesting kind of figuring out how to use it. It's almost humbling to be like, how do I blink an LED? And it's just weird. That's fun. And then
about that maybe.
Yeah.
If you plug a D1 Mini on top of it, will it use the same RX and TX, so the same serial, or do you have to change the pins for that? Because on the original D1, you have like another serial chip that's on the same pins. Will they work together or? Well,
it'll be the same as like you could connect your D1 Mini to like a Bluetooth a Bluetooth module using serial, right? So you might have problems programming the D1 Mini while the two of them are slotted together, maybe, or at least if the CH552 was powered at the same time, which it would be probably because they have the 5-volt connected. But I think in general, there shouldn't be a problem. Like once the D1 Mini is programmed, the TX and RX should be available for use in anything, I would think. I haven't actually connected them together because until I get the HID part done, the serial part doesn't really matter.
What I was, I don't know how UART is working out of my head right now, but I would be worried that if you have like two incoming RX or this is TX from the USB, both USB chips, and if they're not using like a pull-up resistor or something, internal pull-up resistor, that they might collide like with ground and 5 volts and then cause, or 3.3 volts and cause a short. That's during the communication. I don't know how that works. Just asking if you have tested it, if that works at the same time to have both connected to the incoming UART line.
No, I haven't connected them at all. Okay. I only have. So this isn't meant to be like the final version of the board either. It was literally like if I wanted to test whether it was possible to work, I was like, oh, I could kind of breadboard out, use one of those breakout adapters for this style of a chip and breadboard it out. And I was like, do you know what? No, I'll just make a design and order it, and I can iron out some of the things then. Like, I don't think I'd have all these pins here on the final version, but like, so what I have here, the top row is literally every single one of, or the inside rows, or every one of the CH552 pins broken out, just to play around with it and just see, is there anything more useful I could do with it? Like, for example, I mentioned the touch buttons earlier, so it might be useful to kind of break out the touch buttons to like be pads here that maybe you can bind a certain action to that. So if maybe you type out the like, I don't know, the IP address of the D1 Mini, so that might be a handy way of like being able to get to the web page without knowing the IP addresses. And
Oh, that's cool.
Open up a notepad and just press it, and it would look after it or whatever. So like, I definitely wouldn't be selling this version of it, but it was just kind of a prototype to get me going. But yeah, that's good advice to try that out, the TX and RX thing. So I can fix that afterwards for sure.
Cool.
So that's that one. And then the thing that made me and Dave Watts enemies.
Hello. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, so Dave released a video, and maybe you'll talk about it. I don't know. I won't presume to know what Dave is going to talk about, or David is going to talk about, but around emulating like a coin cell. So I remember in a post bag, like it must be years ago, David got like these two like lots of copper pad things, and he was talking about emulating coin cell, and I thought that was really interesting. And I was wondering,
it was 2018, yeah.
2018. That sounds right. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I was wondering, could you emulate it using PCBs? So if you haven't done much PCB work before, the standard PCB is 1.6 millimeters thick, and the 32 part of 2032 is the thickness of it is 32. And using
these are great numbers for you, Brian.
Yeah, these aren't great. All right. Using simple arithmetic, 16 mil plus 16 mil equals 32 mil. So yeah, so I designed two PCBs that like slotted on top of each other and got soldered, and has a micro USB on it. And you might be aware that micro USBs are 5 volts and coin cells are 3 volts, but I designed it for the PCB3, which is happy to run on like between 3 and 5 volts. So yeah, this was the original version. So it's one of those standard micro USB breakouts, and I have like a little bit of wire and tape looped across, and it actually did work. This was not the next version. Look, I'm a genius. This is why I spent 4 years in college to become an engineer. Yeah, so this was not the next version, but the version after that. I don't have the Oshpart version here for some reason. And yeah, that worked out fine. And if you bought a PCB3 off me this year, you might have gotten one of these. But the big problem with them was that I had to use mouse bites to panelize them, and they were an awful pain to like tidy up to make them, somewhat circular again or whatever, and to be able to fit into the hole. So I didn't like that, and I then settled on this kind of square one, which doesn't look as coin celly, but actually fits into the slot just as well as this one, even a little bit better. And it was much nicer in terms of to depanelize and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And other than that, you might notice if you're familiar with my channel that I'm not at my usual desk, and that is because I've moved, and this is my new office, and it's really empty and echoey, and it is quite big, yes, which I'm very happy about. You'll also notice I did not close those doors, which I should have and didn't realize until I went to this zoomed out view. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm still in the process of moving. My old office is mostly dismantled, and yeah, there's a big mess here waiting to be
It's
put
so
away.
weird. That room has the same energy like the one before. It's like there's
A mess.
a wardrobe. There's a wooden panel and there's a door. And
I even put up the whiteboard
Yeah.
to make it feel like home.
I mean, then there's also you in the same chair. And so yeah, it doesn't look
It's
that
true.
different.
The desk I'm on is really like it's the same desk, right? So if it's very similar setup, and even like my camera pointing down is kind of the same. But yeah, I haven't really fixed anything to walls here, and I don't know. I presume they're the same everywhere, but like I had brick walls in the last office, and we used we call them roll plugs, I think, or those little plastic plugs. And after I took down all my shelves, like it looks like my wall is chicken pox or something in the last office. It's just like everything. There must be at least 50 screws in that wall. So yeah, fun.
Have you got anything new on that whiteboard, or is that all
that
of the
is
old stuff?
literally the same whiteboard without being
I love
cleaned.
it. Right, I've got something similar. So years and years ago, possibly 5 years, I had this whiteboard. In fact, if someone were to Google L6920dB on my YouTube channel, they would probably find it. Look, it's fucking dust. I mean,
On my channel, what?
Oh, I'm so
Demonetized.
sorry.
Demonetized.
Not the first time.
I said duck.
I don't earn money over YouTube.
It's dusty. Like, I just haven't used it since. Right, this is. Oh well, whatever. I'm getting rid of it. I'm just changing the subject now. Sorry. Carry on. Anyway, I have a similar whiteboard that I don't touch anymore. It turns out they're not very useful.
This video is not meant for children.
I actually haven't set it to 18 plus, so
Oh,
really?
Oh,
So we can say what.
what have you got planned for later, Dave?
The shaping topic is coming back.
We could bring back that game I played on one of my maker casts where it was like talking about sex toys for.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
last time,
Oh,
so
God.
we don't want to go back to that. But I have an actual question to the coin cell thing. Do you think it's now enough space on there that you could add a voltage regulator?
Yes, there is.
Is that planned?
So when I was originally coming up with it, like I was toying around with the idea of making it flexible enough to work with anything. In terms of like, yes, could you have the option of putting a voltage regulator on it? And then that's more useful to loads of stuff. But the problem I had with it wasn't the voltage regulator. It was, I don't have any things that take coin cells in hand's reach, but the PCB tree has like a side mounted one, right? Where the coin cell sticks out at a right angle from the PCB and it slots in like that. And this is the correct orientation for it in terms of minuses at the top, pluses at the bottom. So you have enough space for your micro USB cable to come in from the side. So this was made pretty much for the PCB tree, or anyone who uses that right angle connector. This kind of makes sense for it if they can take 5 volts. But then the problem is that most like flat mounted coin cell holders normally have the positive on the top, which would mean that you'd want the positive to be on, or you'd want your micro USB to be on the top as well. And I was like, oh, I could maybe fix this if I could, like, when you're assembling it in the first place, you know, if you want minus on the top, you do it this side, or maybe you flip them around. And I was like, do you know what? No, this is way too complicated. I'm just going to do the simplest thing possible and get it done, and then it'll be fine. And maybe I'll make a different one some other time. But and also, if I did add the regulator, the PCB tree runs better off 5 volts. Like the lights are brighter. on
That's
5
true.
volts. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to
It
make
works
it 5
for your
volts.
product, so that's
Yeah. So, but I don't sell them individually. Number one, because they're kind of a stupid product, and number two, because as bitluni calls them, they are the badge killer. Like, as in, if you plugged it into the majority of badges, maybe they'll break. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did everyone watch David Watt's attempt of making like coins?
My favorite thing about that was the fact that you used the crap cricket to test it. This thing that beeps periodically.
Are you turning red? You're red. I never saw you red. No, once we that was so it was like watching was so painful. Can I maybe say
We're not allowed to swear on here, Looney. Don't bully me.
It was so cool. It was so everyone was, why?
I wasn't actually listening. What are we talking about? I was more focused on
Maybe
putting
David can
him on
explain
display.
what he did in his video.
I'll explain later on when it's
the
my
idea
turn.
is so cool.
So who's next? Brian is done. Who could be next? It's bitluni.
Oh, what?
It's your
I
turn.
didn't. Oh yeah, maybe. Okay, so we are. So I have maybe also an embarrassing story to tell. So I was filming. It was now 3 weeks ago. I was filming a new video on my LED wall, and I want to change the power supply stuff. So I used before like a cheapo Chinese one. That's like 70 amps that are actually only like 40 amps, 5 volts power supply, and it's quite loud. And yeah, I don't trust it as much because it has like moving parts and fans, and I wanted something like more passive. So I bought like for the new video, I bought like a huge Meanwell? Yeah, a huge power supply, 24 volts. So mains to 24 volts. Without so completely as a IP whatever waterproof and 25 amps, 24 volts, and then I want to convert this 24 volts to 5 volts individually at the region where I need it, so I don't need like thick wires for my LED wall. So this is my huge project, and I was bragging about this power supply that I ordered. Look at this great power supply in the Discord chat. To my mates, Dave was there, and Brian, and I think Unexpected Maker was also there. And I was bragging about this power supply, and then I was mid-recording my video that should come out in a few days later, and then I do like fancy unboxing again, like with a chainsaw or whatever. And then I unpack it and realize there is 42 volts, not 24. So I flipped like the digits or something. It was, what? No!
The funniest thing about this is that
I want to tell this.
Okay, go for it.
So that's really embarrassing because I flipped the digits, and it's quite an expensive power supply. So I thought, oh man, 170 euros or something. I got the wrong one. Who needs 42 volts? It's like a super rare, inconvenient voltage to have. So I dropped this video idea for now, or just postponed it until I have the replacement, and recorded my minimal video machine, because the minimal arrived at the same day. So I just went with this and did like my experiments, and that was the last video, which people seem to love it. But the cool story about the power supply is I came back to Discord and was chatting, and I think I was talking to Brian, and mentioned, oh, I got the wrong power supply, so I had to stop recording and do something completely different. And then I just get from Brian a screenshot from the Discord chat where I was bragging about this cool power supply, and I posted the link, and then just below my link and below my bragging, Dave Darko mentioning, "Oh, be careful, it's 42 volts, not 24."
Oh, I love it.
He actually warned me, and I didn't see it. I didn't read it. And Brian mentioned it, so it's a really embarrassing story. but the company I got this power supply from, they swapped the power supply, so I can finally continue doing my new LED wall experiments. Yeah, but I got also this embarrassing story to share, and I will share it also in the video. 42 is the answer for everything, but not for your power needs on the LED wall.
Who uses 42 volts? Where does that? Is there any indication on a like company's page or anything what it might be used for?
The power supplies are all for LEDs, and you simply they put many LEDs in series, and depending on how many you put in series, you use like that voltage. Probably they are all of these are current controlled and stuff like that. So I'm not sure, but these are all mentioned for LEDs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all. What I so Dave also forbid me to open these bags here, fresh arrived from Mauser. But no unboxing. These are the ESP32 S2s, and I got the rover and room modules, and I want to design a new I don't know, VGA board or whatever, but I didn't start yet. And I had a live stream where Piotr and other guys that have been there on Trash, where we finally completed like this audio amplifier, the PAM, what is the number? 98, whatever. I don't know. It's like a super cool single-ended audio amplifier that you can use with line in without shorting anything, and you don't need like this huge capacitors on the jack side. So it's a quite cool audio amplifier that I'm looking forward to use on my future boards. So I've put some audio jacks on boards before, but all these are not amplified. All these are not amplified and don't work with headphones. And the new amplifier works with headphones just fine. So that's all I have to report on my achievements this month.
I had a strange interaction, sort of, speaking of ESP32 S2s. So I was playing around with capacitive touch of the ESP32, and I posted about it on Twitter that I was trying to get it to work through a door handle, and like John Lee from Espressive messaged me and was like, "Hey, like the capacitive touch on the ESP32 S2 is way better. Do you want to try it?" And I was like, "Oh my god, of course I do!" Mm-hmm. And so he goes, "Oh, I'll send you one." And I was like, "This is great. I'm so happy." And then when it arrived, I was like, it came with DHL in a couple of weeks. I was like, "This is brilliant. I'm going to try this capacitive touch. Maybe I'll have to do it through the IDF or whatever, but it'll be a bit of fun." And then it came as 3 modules, and I was just like, I just do not have time to figure out how to program these, how to wire them up, how to do anything or design a PCB for them. So I was like, "Oh, great." So sorry, John, I've got 3 ESP32 S2s sitting in a drawer until bitluni designs a PCB and sends me one.
No, Sion is he's already like, you can buy from him like a prototype.
The feathers.
Yeah, it's like a feather. It's not a wing, it's like a feather format.
It is a feather, yeah.
Yeah, with the S2 working with the USB. That's crazy. He's like...
I am probably going to leave the S2 for a while, mainly just because of like how early it is. I just don't feel like I have the time to learn
IDF.
doing it through the IDF or whatever. Like, I'll happily wait for a year or two when some smarter people than me have ported it to Arduino and I'm nice and comfy.
Yeah.
I'm in your camp, Brian. I'm in your camp.
We have
Same
just
scene.
to poke all the people that are doing the Arduino integration for the port for the Arduino integration. We have to poke them and annoy them all the time, so they will just give us an alpha or something that we can work with. But I installed the IDF already, the newest one, and then it's like command line control stuff, and like yeah.
I'm home. Some people enjoy that. So
Yeah, sure.
but
Whatever
Arduino-
floats your boat, but it's just not for me.
Exactly.
It's like talking about religion.
we
should be
We should
encouraged.
go. Yeah, we should someone else. We should let someone else talk now. Maybe Arturo. You were so
The host has spoken.
silent for so long. Yeah, the host has spoken. But if you're ready, if you don't want to, it's fine. We still have two other.
No, yeah. I just didn't want to interrupt people, but yeah, I have a bit of stuff to show. Like, it's been a bit of a slow month because I designed some PCBs, but they're in production right now, so I will get them probably next week. So I'm a bit too late. So next month maybe, if I'm on. But I can show one thing, which I think I showed this before on one of the episodes. It was the this is not going to focus, of course, classic. This is the IMX feather with the IMX RT.
Let me be professional. So no. Now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That actually focused quite nice. Yeah, I think I showed this before. Yeah, this is the IMX RT 1010, which is the what is it? Yeah, the
TNC4?
Cortex. Yeah, it's lower in the family, but it is similar to the one in the TNC4. It runs at 500 megahertz, and this one also has a ESP32, so you can you don't need a shield for that or something like that. And yeah, in the current order, I have the final revision for this. So hopefully, if everything works on that one, I can get them into production and put that on TND.
How many? You've got. Look at that chip. There's like 100 pins or more on that IC. What are they all doing? There's only so many GPIOs on that board. What do all the rest of the pins do?
I mean, it's mostly GPIOs, yeah, on that one. But this one is not that much. I think it's only 100 pins on this one.
Only 100.
My last project is an 8-pin IC.
I also have rubbish. I don't know where I have it, but I also have a second one which uses the chip that is actually in the TNC, and that one is a BGA. So I think that it has 289 balls. So that's a lot on that one. But yeah, this is. Yeah, sorry, Brian.
I have a question, but it could wait till after you're finished talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish, but no. But on this one, actually, I almost ran out of pins because even though the feather format, why is it flipped? I thought never mind. Even though the feather format doesn't have that many GPIOs, I don't know how many it is, like 10 or something. There's also there's also the ESP on there, and that one uses like SPI plus UART plus some control pins, so that's like 7 or 8. The flash is external on that one, so that's already like 7 or something. There's the LED and the button and so on. So like it quickly goes down, and I'm almost out of GPIOs.
You've only got 60 left.
Not really. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of power pins on this one. Look, this is all 402 capacitors. Look how tiny they are. and how many there are, because this is what I really wanted to have it on a single on the top, and I managed. So I have
How
that
did you
one.
solder them?
Yeah, I have a stencil and then a reflow oven. So
Nice.
but it's all hand placed. Don't have a pick and place yet.
You are the pick and place.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I also showed some time ago. My PMod BlackBerry keyboard, and this one. The news is that I have made a second batch of them, so I actually have them right there, and all I'm waiting for is some headers, and then they will go on my Tindy. So soon. And I also have a poll on Twitter running because this one is in the the header here is a PMod, which is not up to everybody's liking. It's more of a FPGA thing. So I have a poll running. What would people prefer? Like if I made another one, but with a different option for connectivity. So I could do it as a Quick or a Stima QT, I think it's called, which is quite nice because this is I2C, so you can easily connect that. Or I could do it as a USB HID, so you connect it to a Raspberry Pi to a PC, and it just works as a PC keyboard. Or I could do it with just throw a Bluetooth module on it and then have it as a Bluetooth HID, so you can connect it to your phone, and that's the dream, right? Like if I can do like this.
That's cool.
The ESP32.
That would be really a product, like a final product, like a complete product that you can sell anywhere, not only on Tindy.
Like turn it into a case for a phone or something. So you've got like a keyboard at the bottom.
Could do. I think like BlackBerry makes phones. Well, BlackBerry kind of closed recently, but they have like two phones that are pretty much like this because the keyboard is tiny and on the bottom. So I'm wondering how that even works. Like, I mean, wouldn't it kind of, like top heavy when you're writing? It kind of, I have no idea how it feels. Maybe they offset some weight, like the battery's on the bottom, so you feel, I don't know.
Maybe you can do like a butterfly where you use your two thumbs, like on the controller, and you have all the keys on like left and right, and you have like the phone in the center, and you plug it from below like a case or something.
But then, but so that wouldn't work with this keyboard, I guess, or.
Yeah, well, like I don't know. It's just
an
idea.
I think. What did I don't know. Yeah, a male plug Type-C could work. Also, it's an option. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking also, like, how could I? Because there's so many options you could do with this keyboard, but for each, I have to make a new board, which is really annoying if you wanna. Like you don't know which one will sell, so should I make like 100 of each? Should I make just lower run? And that's also annoying because then you have
just
to reorder
make a lot of adapters and dongles, and then everyone
exactly.
will
So
be happy.
I was actually thinking, wouldn't it be possible to have the common part with the keyboard here, and then have some adapters that you put on? But that seems like work.
My question, Arturo.
I'm sorry?
My question has nothing to do with electronics. But what are the board games behind you? Or at least what are your favorite board games behind you?
Oh, I didn't see those. Can we go big screen, Dave?
And
I mean, we can.
Whoa.
There we go.
Oh my
They're
word.
board games, right? I see some of them. There's Munchkin is there, I think. Or
I used to have what's the proper word? Obsession? No. I used to order or used to back a lot of Kickstarter board games. So this is like 1/3 of all the board games I have.
wow.
No way.
I have a lot. And I have played some of them.
So this is a
like my
problem
drawer
with
full of
board games.
microcontrollers.
This
Sorry?
is a problem with board games. Like, as in, you want to play them a lot, but your probably introverted self never has enough friends
Yeah, and
over to play
like
them.
some of them, the instruction manual is, it's like a book which has like 30, 40 pages you have to read. And yeah, they're cool because they have so many miniatures, but then you
Sounds
realize
like my books.
all these miniatures are different like classes, and they have different stats that you have to know and all that. So
Yeah.
eventually I'll get to them.
Yeah, me and my wife have two friends, like a couple who are big into board games as well. And before our kids came along, like we used to meet up with them maybe like once a week to play or whatever. Definitely gets more challenging with kids, but they were super into them. And it was great because anytime you'd go over to their house, they're like, oh, we'll try out this new game that we got, and we'll try out this new game. They always had the like latest games, and they were big into stuff. And they're so much fun playing board games. I definitely recommend trying them. Yeah, like the Dustin Watts mentioned Carcassonne. I like that one a lot. I can't remember. Even kind of simpler ones like is a Camel Cup or Camel Up is like completely chance based, but like it's just fun. It's a fun thing to do for a few hours to hang out. I don't know, has anyone ever played the Game of Thrones board game? We used to play that with people in work sometimes, and like they've somehow managed to like grab the essence of the like screwing people over that happens in Game of Thrones. Like you place your moves on the map and they get revealed after everybody has placed their moves. So you'd be like, yeah, me and Arturo, we're going to attack bitluni. And then all of a sudden you put down your things that were meant to be like attacking bitluni, but it's actually attacking Arturo because you've had a secret meeting with bitluni to like, oh, it's just so good. Like you'd hate everybody. Like there's still people I do not trust to this day because of that game.
Sounds great.
It's very nice of you, Brian, that you suggest social gatherings on my channel.
Yeah, playing board games right now is a bit problematic.
No.
I think the last board game I played was Hungry Hippos. Is that classed as a board game?
I'll allow it. I'm the host.
But yeah, Dave, if you can make me full, Dave.
Yeah, I was going to the next person, but
Oh,
no.
What's your favorite board game there, Arturo?
No, I didn't ask you. Yeah, so
no, actually, because someone asked what's my favorite one, and it's actually there. It's this one. It's a Legendary Marvel, and it's a deck building game. So I quite enjoy that one where you build your deck of superheroes, and then and it's team effort. So everybody has the superheroes, and they're attacking the villains. And you kind of can chain your attacks based on powers that they have. So it's really nice, that one. But electronics,
yeah.
have one more here, which is this tiny, which will never focus. And this is a tiny OLED screen that's also PMOD. It's a very simple, like 0.95 inch 16-bit RGB, so it's quite nice.
Explain what PMOD is, Arturo.
PMOD is a connector. It's a specification by Digiland for what pinout a connector has. So it's just a standard. It's like Arduino shields. They have the headers are spaced out in a specific way, and the pinout is agreed upon. So if I make a PMOD, then I know it will. I will be able to connect that to a board that has a PMOD connector also as a host. And this is a peripheral, I guess, like a device that connects to a host PMOD. You can see, it's backwards, but
like
this is like
a shitty add-on.
kind of.
No, much
Language.
So many more things.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you have. This is also a PMOD. It's a single PMOD, so it's only 6, and this one is like a double, so it's 2 stacked on top. And then there's, for I2C, it has a specific or spec for how the pinout should be. So I know this will work with other things that have pmods. And then this one is SPI with some extra on top of it. So this one is also coming to, I know it was upside down. So this one is also coming to my Tindy soon. Then I have one more thing that I resurrected. I won't be talking much about it, but I just wanted to show like this thing. It's alive, and that's it. Right, and one last thing that is not electronics. It's not a PCB, but I spent some time on it this month. If I focus, there we go. That's the focus gesture.
That was perfect.
Right?
I'm going to do the same thing from now on. That is it.
Right, so there we go. And it's backwards. So I've spent some time organizing my room. I put some shelves and I organized a bit like my projects for Tindy, since I'm getting a bit more into it with so many projects that I thought it would be nice. So here you can see, left, right is hard. Here you can see, it's keyboards. So this box is full of BlackBerry keyboards. Then there, exactly. I was trying, but that was not gonna go well. There at the top, you can see there's Serpente. It's only plug C because that's the only one that I have some left. But more is coming soon. I have some, at the top there's the OLED PMODs. And then I don't think you can see any of that. But then the keyboard PMODs, I have 2 boxes of them. So they're coming soon. They're just waiting for the headers and some envelopes. So that's what I've been doing recently, setting this whole thing up.
Cool.
How do you fit every of your projects in these few boxes?
Because this is gonna fall, so I'm gonna just,
Everything he does is so like tiny. Tiny things.
I mean, it's a pretty big box for one project, right?
But this is, you have to keep in mind that this is all just indie stuff. So like, I can't even
stock. So you just have stock in there, or do you have
this
the
is a
parts
box of when I'm playing around with this project, right?
That's
so
more familiar.
Exactly.
So you showed us those. They look quite expensive storage boxes. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but they were quite fancy. Well, I'm used to these kind of £1 kind of boxes. You've got some really fancy ones on your shelf.
So the thing is, I used to store everything more in these Samla, whatever, the IKEA boxes, which are, I think, like €3 here each. And these boxes are from another store in Sweden, and they are only like €2 each. So it's way better.
They looked expensive. I was jealous. Envious.
So you just threw out your €3 boxes and bought the €2 boxes.
No. I mean, I didn't have enough, so that's why I just went for these. I still have a lot to the side that you can't see here.
Like I have the same kind of like thing as I think it was bitluni or David. Both of you might have said it, was that like it seems like a relatively small area for how much you sell on Tindy. Like, you sell as much as me or more, but yet I have like half a room dedicated to Tindy. How did this happen? Like, I don't know if you saw my last like video of a tour of my office, but like half the room is Tindy stuff. What am I doing wrong?
Now you have to keep in mind that this is in my house. I have like half of this room. This is a study I share with my fiance. And then I also have a hackerspace that I'm a part of, and all the parts and the spare boards are there. So like when I assemble stuff and test stuff, it's there. And that's like a whole mess. Here, it's only boards that are packaged and in bags and ready to ship. and there was some boxes of empty envelopes and stuff like that. Stuff I need here, and all the parts and all the trash that's at the hackerspace.
that makes me feel.
That's what
a bit-
hackerspaces are for.
for
No,
your trash.
They aren't. Well, right now they are, but yeah.
How many people here are part of hackerspaces? Just two of us. Well, I'm a member of a hackerspace, so I pay my membership, but I only went the day that I became a member, and that was 7 years ago, I think. So I've not actually, I haven't been. But what do you use it for? So what's the appeal?
So I was working from there. I had a co-working space, a table there, and then it was just a matter of staying there in the evening when people are there to talk and work on projects, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, and I wasn't going to any hacker spaces before I was working there, so that was kind of new to me. Yeah,
So I
really enjoyed it.
I was a member because they had 3D printers, right? And that was quite a big jump to buy one. And then I bought one. So I didn't need one anymore. I didn't need to go there to buy to use it. And also it was kind of like you had to go and get trained, and someone had to supervise you if you're going to use it. I really just wanted to muck around with a 3D printer. So I just bought one in the end. So I wouldn't go there to use their equipment, but the networking bit sounds like it'd be really useful, fun, even.
I think the story is always the same, that whenever you start doing like this tinkering stuff and you don't have any tools at all, that you go to the hackerspace, print something, or maybe CNC something, laser something.
Laser cut. Yeah.
And you learn so quickly from other people. So they show you how to do something like in CAM tools or whatever. And that's how I started quite a few years ago as well. And then I just built a 3D printer. I was like living for a month in a makerspace, like 24/7, until I finished building my own 3D printer. And then I left and never came back. Or
there's a lot of stuff that like I think makes sense to be like community owned or whatever, like is in more expensive things like laser cutters and things like that,
or a lathe or something. Yeah,
most people
sewing machines
here, most of us here probably won't make use of that most of the time or whatever. So the big reason for me not being number one is time. Like I would have to drive somewhere to it, and like the nearest one to me is like, I don't know, 100 kilometers away. So like I'm not going to go to one. So that's never going to happen. But like I've been to the big one in Ireland, which is called TOG, and that's in Dublin. And the guys there are super cool. Like anytime I've like interacted with them or whatever, I'm like, I would like to have that interaction with people more. Like, as in, it would be kind of cool to like bounce ideas off people or whatever. But I actually do think that like stuff like Discords do kind of substitute that virtually in terms of the bouncing ideas. Like in a Discord or even on Twitter, you just like, I'm thinking about this, and suddenly there's 10 like-minded people, talking to you about it, and kind of gives you some of what you need. And yes, it's my kids you can hear in the background.
We were just saying to Steve in the chat, do you need to be somewhere, Steve?
It's story time in my house at the moment. I can hear the stories going off.
So I also met quite a few people in the makerspace. I was like in in Darmstadt. Darmstadt is a bigger city, like 100,000, 120,000 people living there. And now I'm moved away from there. But I also met quite a lot of cool people and like-minded people. And I even lived with a few of them for 4 years in a big house. So it was like a really cool time. So if you are like new to this stuff, makerspace or hackerspace is the place to go to meet people, to learn the stuff, to maybe try out and find out what kind of tools you want to have first, because that's like always an investment if you have to buy like a mill or 3D printer, and then that's always cool. Yeah.
I can quickly mention. Yeah, exactly. Like the hackerspace I'm a part of, I think is a bit unusual because, well, one, that it's very small, like it's only 6 people. We're all friends, we know each other, and the story is that we kind of got all together and we used to just meet at each other's houses, like just rotate around. Everybody brought some stuff to hack, and then we hacked for a whole day, some pizza and stuff like that. But we realized not everybody had the same tools and so on. But we also when we put them together, we had a lot of stuff. Like we had one person had a power supply, someone had a oscilloscope, someone had a microscope, soldering station. So we thought let's just all bring it together. And we found this nice place in this kind of basement situation, and we started renting that, and we just brought all the stuff we had. We bought some chairs and tables from an auction, and I think that's what makes it a bit different, that we all know each other's and we know whose stuff we're using, so I think it's more respectful in that regard. I mean, this is the only hackerspace that I've been a part of, so I'm not sure how it is in different ones. But it's also that it's big enough that we kind of each have our own space, so I don't have to really clean up after myself. I can just leave it and then come in a week and continue going, And now we have reflow oven also, and we have actually 2 3D printers because I had one and then a friend had one. So
that's how all the 3D printers got into hackerspaces. The hackerspace that I'm in right now, they grabbed every printer that everyone has for 3D printing face shields and stuff. But before that, it was 7 or 8 3D printers, just people bringing them, and we're like, hey, you can have it. I don't need it anymore. And
here with a hackerspace, you get always donations. So that's
I have 2 3D printers that are basically up for donation now. As in, I own 3 3D printers. Why is this so difficult for me? 3 3D printers. So the Ender Pro the Ender Pro is the one I use, and then my first one that I got is some cheap Chinese one, but it does work. And then I also have an A6, was it, or A8, the ANET one that A8. My wife won off Instructables that has never worked, but I'm pretty sure I have the replacement part for it now. But the thing is, I really do not need 3 3D printers. I barely need 1. So what do you do with it? You could maybe sell it, but the stepper motors are probably worth more than what you get for them. So I kind of don't know what to do with them.
And I can imagine that some makerspaces will reject you because it's the shitty printer, and they know what problems can come up with this sort of printer that you have.
The ANET one is probably fine, other than I'm pretty sure the heating element was broken in it, and I bought a new heating element. So
hackerspaces don't love that when things can go up in flames overnight when they print stuff. So
the
ANETs, that's what you get.
They ship with no thermal runaway as well. So,
but the Enders don't ship with thermal runaways either. But people seem to be happy enough with that for some reason. I don't know.
I would definitely recommend you strip them down, get the parts. Like you said, the stepper motors alone will be worth more than the printer, and then just repurpose them.
You're going to sell them. It is going to end up in the bin, isn't it, Brian? It's going to go to the recycled at the tip.
No, it'll go to my attic and just sit there. Actually, this is a topic that I would like to talk about. And it's super apparent to me since we've moved, right? When you're a maker or whatever, nothing is really that useless, right? Everything is I could, So like I've like
Mhm.
5 old iPod speakers, like, you know, which is like, oh, I could turn this, you know, shove a Raspberry Pi in there, and all of a sudden I've got like a whatever. When am I going to fix 5 Raspberry? You know, like it's just not going to happen. But you know,
Brian,
I've used
this is an intervention.
Yeah.
intervention,
Doesn't work.
intervention.
No, but the topic is quite interesting because I had like a similar instance of I had like a huge poster frame that had like glass in front, and the glass broke because I like when I was moving, I put it like on the edge or something, and then the glass broke, and I put it in the attic. And I said, I will keep it because there's like
Why?
wooden
Why?
HDF wooden plate in the back, and I put everything in the attic. And recently, when I started milling with the mini mill, I said, "Oh, I have this HDF plate from this frame that I can cut up in small pieces and reuse it." And now it's quite handy to have it. I only just threw away the glass, and now I have like the rest of this huge frame as my sacrificial board for CNC milling.
When you say
Yes.
you only just threw away the glass, did you put the glass in the loft?
Broken glass. The love.
It
You
broke.
kept that?
it
I might
broke.
need that. I might need it.
broke there, so I just had to remove the glass afterwards at some point
I
after
see.
weeks or months. Or
So that is a problem, right? So, you know, everybody has this box of wires, right? That, you know, like I might need this one day. And then all of a sudden, like 5 years down the line, you need one of those wires. And it completely justifies this stupid box you've had for the last 5 years. Like, so yeah, bitluni is telling us about this MDF thing or what frame that he had that he used.
HDF.
He's not telling us about all the other stuff that's in his attic that he's never used. So
No,
yeah.
most of the stuff I have here in my lab, so and it's full of crap, and in the other room even more. There are like I have like a huge box it's probably 50 kilogram of old electronics, like laptop parts that you would never take apart from or something. But yeah, I didn't get rid of. Now it's too late. It has to stay there.
I recently just sort of like tidied up my space to make it look a bit nicer for streams and stuff, because I might have to do it for work. But I'm acutely aware of this whole cable problem. In that cupboard there, which you can't really see because I'm square, but in there is all these like plastic boxes and stuff. Look, I'll just open it.
Open it. Avalanche.
See
Avalanche.
everything in there? Hang on a minute. It's just.
That's pretty
I don't know. So
That's
I've got
organized.
boxes in
Really
there.
neat.
Tidy.
neat and tidy. Yeah, those were you.
If it was,
This is that.
if it
Uh-oh,
was
the
This is
boxes
that
are-
bloody box.
That's we all have one of those
Yep.
boxes.
One.
So this is-
cables. I see
This is
VGA.
one of those
Right.
boxes. I've got another one which has got power supplies in. You
Yeah.
keep every freaking power supply you can find. Well,
Yeah,
I've got
because
one of
one day you need them.
those. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if
you never
it's
know when
too
you
far
need
down
a 42-volt one.
there.
Right.
So I went through everything, and I threw one cable away, and it's only because I cut the end off. So it was just the micro USB bit, and I'd cut the cable in half. I threw that bit away, and I'd kept the other one.
Well, that's
I
like
only
a
threw one.
super great
And
breakout.
so you said.
See, I
Yeah.
kind of got something against micro USB. I don't really want to keep using it unless I have to. I'd like to move to USB-C, or no USB, and just solder stuff straight to the board, or a barrel jack, which is far better, in my opinion. It's less brittle.
Okay. So David,
Anyway, sorry, I derailed stuff.
yeah, but I kind of want to know something. I want to know things about the stuff behind you right now.
Okay,
Maybe
like
you
what?
could continue with what you've.
Oh, I
with-
see.
Huh?
What a very subtle
What a
segue
host.
into
What
what
a
I've
host.
been up to. I love it. Okay, so, all right. I mean, first off, I can tell you what's going on behind me. So, that
Wow, yeah,
is the
that's-
Commodore PET
that's beautiful.
2001. Recently cleaned and refurbished. I've not dared turn it on, if I'm honest, because it worked about 5 years ago, but I'm not sure now.
When did you get
I'm
this?
sure it will be exactly the same. The company I worked for was throwing it away about
What?
2000 and I want to say 15, but it might have been 13. I think it probably was 13. So they were going to put it in e-waste. I don't know if everyone here knows what that is, but companies in the UK are required, when they get rid of electronic equipment, to do it in an environmentally friendly way. So this was going to get sent off to one of those e-waste companies. It had been used in an engineering capacity, running a bit of equipment that runs some software from like the early 1980s or something. So this thing came out in about 1977, 1978, and they just hadn't got a new machine because it was some kind of engineering lathe thing. I've no idea, whatever it was. So this used to be in that cupboard, hiding away, and I just looked at it today and just thought, oh, you look a bit sad. And I thought, okay, I'm going to wheel you out. So I wheeled it out. It was on this thing, and it was really dusty. So cleaned it off, opened it up to make sure that I'd not lost anything. Realized I'd lost a cable, one of the power cables. So it will work. The main problem with it is I've lost the cable for the memory board expansion. So it will just have no expanded memory, which is fine because it didn't really work before. Anyway, and I cleared off all of this stuff here. So this is, wow, like leaning out of shot. I like this. So I've got my crap clock up here. This clock I got from Elector. Am I going to bring it over? I'm going to bring it over. No, I'm not
bringing it over.
It's all going to fall over. I can't bring it over. It's all sort of connected. And guess what it's connected with? Oh,
Solar thing.
Micro USB.
The thing is, so I made this thing, didn't I? Where is it? Here's some of them. I don't have any of these. So I made that little battery eliminator using these.
Oh, yeah.
Focus. There they are. With these little brass discs. Now, the thing about it is,
They're dog tags.
there is one over here, and it's illuminating my Zenit camera, which is the thing, and it's the Don't Panic badge. So, just all sugars. No, I'm not going to disconnect everything. Everything's going to break. Everything is going to break. Okay, just going to ignore it.
Doesn't work.
Anyway, they work really well, these things. Lots of people were worried that they were going to sort of short or whatever on the sides of... sorry, I'm totally not prepared. I don't have all my things here. Just grab some stuff. You have to make the old man noises these days. Right. What's in here? Not that. There we go. So this is the crap badge. Oh, got it. Why did it have to replace my head? Why does that?
You got to do the
Yes,
wavy thing that Arturo did.
Oh, hang on.
And
Right.
It worked.
Oh my God, it worked. All right, hang on. Focus. Go.
Focus.
How close can you focus? Pretty close.
There we go.
Okay, so the crap badge. Oh, it looks a bit dirty. Anyway, that's the little battery eliminator in there, almost in there, sort of coming out of it. So Brian was. I mean, I'm going to choose to assume he was slagging these off. Did anyone else listen to the bit he was talking about?
Oh yes,
I think something. I make PCBs and I'm better than you. Something like that. I think
That's exactly how it went.
That's a direct quote.
Definitely zoned out.
Yeah, just before we get into it, they're dog tags, right? That's what.
Yeah, these are pet tags.
Don't make fun of it.
So come on, focus.
Just look.
It's
I think
a
this is
big map.
incredibly inventive.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
it
really
won't focus.
nice.
Anyway, so these are the little dog tags. You can get them stamped. And the idea was, although it didn't work out like this because I didn't really have any wire or connectors that I wanted to use with it, but they've got little tiny holes in them. You can probably see a little white dot on that. It's not going to focus, but... No. Honestly, it did work before, didn't it? I think Arturo... Arturo's right. Anyway, it's got a little white dot on it, and that's a hole in the brass coin tag thing. And I thought I could put wire on the inside and feed it through. But then I realized that the sockets don't really have a lot of space either side, and these are sized the width of 2032. But it does work, but it doesn't work in all circumstances. So there are some, and I suppose that's the same for some of your boards as well. So there are some holders that work fine. Like this one works fine because there's no way that the other side can touch. But this one doesn't work so well because it's kind of the bottom side might touch the negative.
How does the other side don't touch? You have like the one pole that's like on the side, it's going down to the PCB. So I was seeing that, and I was constantly thinking you will short out immediately because there's like this post on the side, and then you have like
with this one
on the top, and you have like both plates going to the side where you have this like this pole.
Dave, if you can switch to this picture, hopefully. Oh, please focus. Just for once. Come on. Just
do it.
There.
Maybe you need a Zauberwort. Yeah. Magic word.
Oh, right. Okay.
Focus.
This floppy bloody disc. Right. So you can see the.
What
I like that. I like that floppy disc.
It's a flexi.
There's a ridge at the bottom here. So where this bit stands up.
Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sake. There's actually a plastic ridge. I don't know if you can see it at the bottom, and it's a couple of millimeters high. And so that prevents the other disc, the one that's resting on the bottom, from shorting. And it's there for normal 2032s because while they are slightly thinner at the bottom, probably by a couple of millimeters, they can protrude quite a lot. And so if it didn't indent a little, so that's where these ones are a bit difficult.
On your video where you made this, you couldn't see that ridge, so I was constantly like super triggered and worried and like panicking. Why he does this? Doesn't he he see that there's like this short on the side? How does it work at all? So you break your USB port or anything at your PC if you plug this in or anything. So I was constantly like super like, what?
Well, that makes me really pleased that you were triggered watching it. Honestly, that's great. There's an amazing comment in there. I don't want to say because it's a bit mean, but there's an amazing comment on that video where someone says, "Is this a capacitor? How does it work?" And I just thought, this is brilliant. So somebody replied and said it's all done with magnets, and then sent a link to this video. That's the best thing ever. I'm gonna post it in the chat. So I apologize if this is. I'm not trying to cyberbully anyone. It was just really funny.
I'm not trying to. It's just coming off that way.
I think they just didn't watch the whole video, so they just watched a very small part of it, and then thought, "Oh, I don't really know what this is. I'm gonna have to do a search for magnets.
How do they work?"
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I don't. Right, I can't even spell it. It turns out magnet.
Focus. That's nice.
Does anybody use YouTube on their phone much? Like that would be the main way I'd watch videos. Have you noticed that the comment section is in a completely different place now?
They swapped
for a long time already.
Not a long time for me. It's only like a week for me.
No, they changed it for a certain amount of accounts. So on my private account where I'm watching all the videos, it's for months already. And for my other accounts, I'm confused since I switched the account to reply like stuff that's bitluni related or whatever. And then I'm confused. Where are the comments? And then I have to scroll down again to find them in the bottom.
It turns out I didn't approve the comment, so because I thought it was cyberbullying, obviously. He said, "It's basic electromagnetism. See here." And then there's this absolutely hilarious video of someone doing a rap about magnets. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's
I'm setting myself off there. I'm sorry.
You could charge it up. It's a plate capacitor, like you have to plate.
I mean, that's quite a big gap between
just really low capacitance, right?
Still a capacitor.
Yeah, but it is a capacitor.
A crappy one.
I'm going to move on.
Velcro makes a great dielectric, right?
Actually cried there a little bit. So what else have I been working
maybe you
on?
can even generate a high voltage when you like separate the Velcro. It creates like from a static or something, and you have like a high voltage battery then. Who knows? Maybe.
You should write in the comments too. Maybe they would believe you.
Maybe
Right,
I
I'm
did
gonna
with my
share-
private
I'm gonna
account.
share
You
something
didn't
with you.
realize it
How do I
me.
do share screen? Dave, I'm going to share my screen.
No, please don't.
Why?
Maybe it's
nothing
me
bad on
with
it.
my private account.
Okay, so what you can see here is this is
A lot of files and folders.
if my work saw the way that I organize my home videos, they would be shocked. So I've got, oh God, where has it gone? Oh, it's right here. So Carol, can you go back to the other camera? Sorry. And then pop back to this in a second. Dave.
What's the
What? Sorry, I
magic
was
word?
listening.
Can you go put me main screen for a second?
Producer.
Wait. There.
Chop chop.
No.
Dave, please highlight the embedded hobbyist.
So I've got this. If anyone knows what this is, let me just plug it in.
Oh, that's cyberbullying.
It's a meat grinder.
Ooh. Raspberry Pi
So
camera.
this is
Oh, I thought
a
it
very,
was a
very
masturbator.
bright projector. It's not very bright. That's a lie. You'll find out soon. I've got a video coming up about it, but it is a projector called the Vistarama Mark II. Now, this thing came out in the 70s. And in fact, I'll just turn that off. If you can jump to my screen,
Hey.
it came out in
Black and white.
1971. 14th of November. Well, it was around 1971, but I found an advert for this in the Sunday Times from 1971.
Ooh, inside
And-
China, cut out and keep guide. Interesting.
I
There
want
it
to know.
is.
Wow.
$2.
So I was trying to find. Oh no, it's not. It's at £8.50. I'm not going to go through this whole thing except for that. What?
Aw.
Ooh la la.
Oh la la.
Anyway, can you jump back to the main screen, Dave?
Yeah.
What?
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
following.
How
Oh,
did that
fine.
axe stop the hijack?
Is this what you wanted?
Let's stop showing. That's cool. So I've been playing with that, and it turns out it's a really terrible projector. Like, it's so bad that I'm really surprised anyone would have used it. So it's called an opaque
says
projector, or
Powerful.
it's very unpowerful. Yeah.
If you
Okay.
say so.
So this projector it's called an opaque projector, or sometimes called an art projector, but its proper name is Episcope. And what it does is it shines light onto an object, and that object reflects that light out through the lens. And so, because of depending on the reflective index, is that even a thing, of the object,
It's now.
it's just
Sorry.
crap. But it's really good if you put something underneath that has light that it emits rather than reflects.
Oh.
And it's blooming excellent at it. So I've done a little video demoing this damn thing and talking about the history of opaque projectors and stuff. And I've got another project coming up with it, which I'm really excited about. And it's going to be to do with, I kind of wish I could get rid of it, but the binary crap clock is going to be involved, because it seems to have like the perfect dimensions to sort of fit in there. So it kind of works really well. And I'm excited about it too. I've just wrapped the cable around this bloody chair. Okay, so there's that, and that I'm really excited about. And I love like vintage tech. I've got loads of it surrounding me. In fact, I'm going to derail myself, self-sabotage, as it were, for a quick second, because I went downstairs just to get something to show Arturo, because I don't play board games. I've got chess and Scrabble in the house, and they're just sort of in the cupboard, and I don't use them. I never have. It's just like one of these inherited things that you end up having. But a friend of mine bought this for me in 2003.
They
So
seem
that's
to
like
know you
17
well.
2006. 2006.
14
And it's
years
this.
ago.
Oh
Dragon
my.
Quest.
Wow.
It's probably valuable right now.
Is that? I mean, I've never used it. Should we have a look inside, see what's in there? I've
Just
only
a
opened
sec.
it once.
Welcome to the
Segue back.
unboxing.
Segue back to the start. The community episode with Dungeons and Dragons is amazing.
What is this?
Is this a
Awesome.
birthday card? No.
First card? Yeah.
Uncle.
Aw.
Ah.
Look at that
very nice.
scribble. What an idiot. Look at that. Okay.
This person could be like, yeah, full-grown adult.
What? Hello, David. Can't let your birthday pass without a few lines enclosed with my card.
You never read it before.
A few lines. Lines of what?
I'm telling you now, it says 23 today, isn't it? Right. Now, that was quite some time ago.
And you found
You
it just now.
Oh my God, I've just read the bottom.
So is the person that drew all the stuff now an adult? Because 14 years have passed and there was...
It's a different person. That's from my nan, who's passed away.
So this is... Sorry. So this is a box of all your birthday cards now.
No. This is... Sorry. I didn't realize
Okay,
that.
no worries.
This is like it's all together. Like no one's taken this apart ever. It's
Don't take it apart. It's valuable. It's
Yeah,
a collector's item.
That's a good point.
mint
do you want it,
condition.
Arturo? Oh look, there's some little figures inside a box.
Oh, don't open
That
it.
is mint condition for sure.
Do you want it, Arturo?
Arturo needs to appraise it, get the value of it now.
Yeah.
Quick,
It
do
can't
you-
be worth anything. It won't be worth a thing.
No.
I mean, it looks really cool.
Some like cards or something. Yeah, I'm not going to use it ever.
Oh.
It's sat in my. How long has it been? How was I? 23. So that makes me
That's really valuable right now. It's
14
like a
years ago.
They're like games. I have like Talisman and like the first edition. They are like so expensive, even if they're opened and used already. So
We'll see. I'll look it up on eBay. If it's not much, I'll send it to
all games
Arturo.
are collector's items. You probably even don't find this one anymore. You have to like go
It's
like
probably old
collector's
edition,
pages
yeah.
or anything.
The chat will know. I bet they're saying it's
You
worthless.
probably have like a Black Lotus from Magic Gathering somewhere on your.
So anyway, that was only a segue, not segue, side quest. Oh my god! Okay,
Words
so
are hard.
Side quest. The other thing is this. I've kind of got a couple of other things, but is that broken? No, it's not broken. That's good. So I've been playing about with this. It's not one of these battery eliminator things, but it does something cool.
Ooh, touch.
Boop, boop. I don't know. It
Is that a
doesn't make that noise.
capacitor?
I'm making that noise just in case anyone's confused. Boop. It's that capacitor. I love it. Boop, 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 boop. So I've been playing about with a little touch IC. Can I share my screen again? I can share my screen again.
You can try.
What do I press? I'm looking at a different thing.
So
Share that.
on
We've got
eBay seems to
range
be
of costs.
about £20.
Oh, so it's not expensive at all, is it?
Just
So-
give it like 25 more years.
It's not too
Okay.
Where it's like
$20.
super much.
It's been about 12 years already, although it's giving my age away. So I bought some of these a while back, a little while back, when I was looking at the HAL board, and they're called the TTP223-BA6, which is a big old thing to say. Now, the reason I picked these ones, and this does something weird. Look at that. Why would you need that enlarging? It's so stupid. Are just standard touch ICs, right? And you can get loads of other different ones. There's like an AT something, which is very common. But this one is really inexpensive. These are about 10 pence each. So they're really cheap. And it's So if I would, the HAL project I was doing, it was going to be an 80 tiny 85. And to do touch sense on an 80 tiny 85, you need to have 2 pins. And I didn't want to give up 2 pins just for what could be done with a button, but I wanted it to be touch because the front of the HAL board has got an exposed sort of metal area, hassle coated area. And so I picked these up and I gave it a go today, and I managed to get it completed in about an hour, which is great. So I managed to read through all of this and put a circuit together really, really quickly. And this thing is ridiculously easy to use. So you can see it's like 2 volts to 5.5 volts. Let's zoom in a little bit. So most of the ranges that I'd use, in fact, this is running off 3 nickel metal hydride batteries that I'm not very good at recharging them, so they're probably super low. And there's an ability here to have, does it say it here or is it a bit further down? Might be a bit further down. So you can have direct output, which is where you press on the electrode and the thing turns on, and when you let go, it turns off. Or you can have a toggle. So you press it, turns on, stays on. It's got a sort of CMOS output, and you can choose whether that's active high or active low, which means it's good for, you know, MOSFET or whatever kind of transistor you've got. And you can have it so when you power it on, its initial power state is on or off. And the ridiculous thing about this thing, this 10 pence little IC that you can use in a circuit without a microcontroller and have touch, is that it needs 1 capacitor and your touching area, which is insane. I thought these things would be so much more complicated, but it just needs this one down here, this CS, and that's your sensitivity capacitor. And it turns out if you don't have that, then it detects your hand from like 30 centimeters away. But if you do put one in, then you can literally get to the point where you touch it.
What's C1 doing though?
Just a voltage stability thing, just a decoupling. So one just across the VDD there. So yeah, this one is just stability. And I think it's ridiculous. For 10 pence, you can throw in a cool touch switch in your project. And so that's what I'm going to do for that HAL project. So I wanted the front panel to be the bit that triggers it to speak, but I didn't want to give up anything else. So the 80 tiny 85 only used to software serial to communicate with the cheap Chinese MP3 controller module. And then, well, not module, IC, which I'm sorting out. So yeah, that I was really, really pleased with. So I'm going to stop sharing this now, Dave. I don't know what happened to the screen. Oh, it's automatic. That's good. So I was working on that today. Really enjoyed it. So I'm going to have to change my HAL design because it was designed using the expensive AT something chip, which is $1 versus 10 pence from LCSC. So
what's the touch stuff for on the HAL thing?
So on the, I'm not going to open it all up, but the front of the HAL thing has like a speaker grill here with holes in it. The the LED is there, and then you've got the HAL at the bit at the top. And that speaker grill is going to be just all like hassle coated bare metal. And so when you touch that, HAL's going to start talking. So I didn't want there to be a button or anything. I just want it to be sort of just touch that and it starts talking. So one of the holes in that speaker grill is actually a via, or via, and so the contact goes through the other side via the via. Well, yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of fun. And the other thing that I'm doing, so my Commodore 64, which is still here, and I'm not really,
You know.
I haven't got anything to show you, Dave.
Looked like you were reaching for something.
Let me
I was going to reach for this. So Commodore 64, I've got the tape player here. This is my primary method of getting stuff into this bloody machine, right? Turns out this is okay. This is a bit. Turns out this is kind of rubbish. Well, it's not rubbish. The tape's old. Sometimes, I mean, it's been chewed up 3 times by this machine, and I've had to take it out and wind it back up with a pencil. Sometimes it doesn't save all that well. So inconsistencies in loading caused some real issues on this live stream I did the other week, whenever it was, about the C64. And so I contacted a guy called Adrian Black. He's got a YouTube channel called Adrian Black's Digital Basement, and he does loads of like retro computer repairs. And I've kind of love stuff like that. You know, when someone comes in with in these videos, they come in with like some old rusted machine, and then like 5 minutes later, they've time lapsed into it looking really great and exploring what's on this old hard drive and stuff. So I like Adrian. I think he's really cool. And so I dropped him an email and said, sorry, Dave.
Yeah, is he the guy that was posting a quick fix video that was 35 minutes of something? And
I don't know. He's
very, very entertaining, very high quality video, because he was going into very high details of what was going on in the C64 and why something wouldn't work. But yeah,
it probably is him. Yeah, he's so knowledgeable about not just about the C64 and other like computers and old PCs and stuff, because that's not like super clever, right? So lots of people can have experience repairing a computer or repairing damage, but he literally knows about like what happens if you change this register value, what will that happen to the rest of the system. He understands the memory addresses. He pulls his scope out and looks at all the different lines on the memory and stuff and understands what's going on. I'm like, oh, I don't even understand how to load from the tape player. Anyway, this guy's he dropped me a message back, and I asked him to look at the part of the live stream where my Commodore 64 was going nuts. Like I was listing stuff and it was just going and going and going and wouldn't stop. And he said, it looks, because I thought it might be a memory problem and I might have to replace some chips or whatever. But he said, no, it's a loading issue on the Commodore. So really you should get an SD to IEC, which is a way of loading programs onto the Commodore 64 with an SD card. But the thing is, they're like 30, 40 quid. So do I care that much? Yeah. So I'm going to make my own instead. So
you could maybe instead you can use like this cassette adapters to MP3 jack thingy. And then plug it into your computer and transform the audio with Audacity or something.
You can do it. There's a thing called
really?
Yeah, it's called tap to wave or something like that. Wow, and there's also PID to wave. The thing is, I type most of my programs in on the Commodore 64, so they're all stored in the cassette. So I'm going to lose all that. But this doesn't work very well. So there's like audio interference, and you get like power supply noise and stuff, and it's still just really bad. So I'm going to build something called a Tapduino. So this is some guys built an adapter for the Commodore 64, so you can use an 80 mega 328, or it's an Arduino Nano. Plug it into the Commodore. It has to go through like an optocoupler and stuff, but you can plug it in and it will play WAV files from an SD card into the Commodore 64 and load programs that way. So I can be like, yeah, on my normal computer with like all the syntax checking and stuff, type it all in there and shove it on an SD card and load it up. And I can also steal games off get games and play them on the Commodore.
What?
Games off the internet and play them on the Commodore 64. Ain't no publisher who's done Commodore 64 games going to be chasing me now. There's no way they're going to be angry about Ghostbusters from 1903 being played on the Commodore.
Hello, police.
Arturo is reporting me.
Yeah. It's fine. My channel is busted since Brian started to talk about. No, it's fine.
Actually, kind of interestingly enough, the creator of Prince of Persia did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit there the other day, and somebody said like, "Hey, where could I play the original games?" And he was like, "Here, you can just download them because there's no way to play them." So he was like, just telling people to steal them. Like. There's a couple of YouTube videos. Actually, I think it's called War Games or War Stories. Is it War Stories? They're really good. Though some of them are really good. Some of them aren't great, but some of them are great. I recommend checking them out if you're into old video games.
So that's me. Oh wait, no. Sorry, have I been talking for ages? It sort of feels like it.
No, we all have been talking for ages, and we still have Steve to talk, and I really need to go somewhere. So maybe you talk. I will hear you. I will mute myself. Do what you have to do. I'm done. For 2
Don't
minutes.
you have like a punica bottle?
I'm done. It's okay. Thank you.
No. Talk. It's fine. It's just I don't think I will last 5 minutes. So I have to
derail the conversation.
I only have one more thing to say. One more thing.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Is it okay if I full screen you, or should I just keep it?
No, leave it there. Leave it there. It's fine. The last thing I've got to say, and it's kind of important, is Steve, what have you been up to this month?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you just take over my hosting? It's
You're
fine.
done here, Dave.
Go wee, would you? Okay, now that Dave's gone,
Did he need a wee?
take over.
Did
He said he needed to go somewhere and he'd be back in 2 minutes.
Oh, he can hear it.
It's fine. That's fine.
Hope he disables his microphone where he's going.
Yeah, is the mic included? Oh, I don't have a beer here. I could have poured it in and just pretended that it was him.
Okay, Steve.
That was very unconvincing, Brian. That's what it sounds like. Splash.
Wow. So yeah, I can talk in this little screen. Don't need much. My first point was I was going to apologize to Dave over there for hijacking onto the stream, but he kind of made up a nice even number, so I will stay. What have I been doing? I've not been on a MakerCast in a long time. I was on a lot of the original ones, but I've kind of been busy in life and everything else. But I thought I would jump on this one. Since my last one, and since I've been busy, it's been my birthday, and I ended up.
Happy birthday, mate!
Thank you very much. I got one of these.
26 years old.
Yeah, just about something like that. It's getting more and more closer to 40, and it's.
You and I are the same age, I think.
You're 26 as well. That's good.
Yes.
Late 20s. Very late 20s.
I think I'm a year older. I'm 38. Yeah, I'm 38. What am I saying?
You look good, Steve. I'm just going to throw that out there.
You do look good, Steve.
Yeah.
I feel like we're like the beard. We seem to have similar beard patterns. Except you although you can grow yours to a full beard.
Oh, shut up, Steve. Look how much you trim yours.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Look at all this line down there that you've got going on.
What's that?
That's all intentional.
No.
We are back to shaving.
I only have to shave from here. Yeah.
Just look at us white people with our beards.
This whole stream has slowly become less about electronics the more we've gone on.
How about those electric razors?
So I really want to see in a big screen what Mr. chunkysteveo has to show.
Hey,
it's you.
I feel alone now.
Oh, actually, I take it back. You don't look great. I'm joking. You do. You look great.
T-shirt. This is my gardening T-shirt. This looks horrible.
You deserve that. I'm sorry.
So now Dave's back. I got a retro flag case. So it's like a little Game Boy case, but it's actually a Raspberry Pi inside this. And it runs RetroPie, and you can play all your, as David would say, your legally owned ROM backup copies of your games that you have.
Download it from your own server.
Yes. I've always enjoyed old SNES and Game Boy and stuff, so that was always something I always wanted. I like RetroPie on the TV and stuff, but it's always good just to have some handheld, just to play in bed and stuff. There's nothing else to play with. Apart from that, since I've been on here, I managed to get this.
Oh wow! Where did you get it?
Oh, I like the sound effects.
So yeah, this is
You
a
robbed the bus, bitluni.
yeah. It pulled up and no one was getting on. I was like, I'm taking this. No, this is a flip. This is a Hanover flip dot displays. So it is electromechanical matrix display. It is it 7 by 84, I believe.
Does that run on 42 volts by any chance?
No, it's 18. It comes
It's
off.
still kind of weird, I guess.
Yeah, it's 20 from a bus battery apparently. Or it's 24, and then they have a droppage, so it runs low to about 18. You're supposed to put 20 in it, but it runs on 18.
Yeah, I think that's your standard lorry battery is 24 volts.
Yeah.
What amps does it take? Because they are all like motors. Or sorry, there's electromechanical, so you have to.
Yeah, there's not a lot. It stays as it is. As soon as it flips the polarity, it keeps the polarity, and obviously when a bus is going up and down, it keeps it as it is. So yeah, it doesn't take a lot, to be honest.
I bet it's magnets.
How do they work?
I think it's
How do they work?
those are capacity. I think the power supply is like 2 amps, something like that. It's not a lot. So yeah, I got this ages ago. They're really quite expensive, to be fair. They're quite retro tech. So on eBay, there is a UK company. I think it's PSV Automator. They have like fully commissioned displays, but they're like £100 and something. I think the cheapest one you can get is like a small one, and that's still £80. But I got this for 30, which was
Wow.
yeah.
That's a deal.
I'll give you 40 for it.
I'll give you 42 for every volt.
I'll swap a board game. Anyone got the original Hungry Hippos?
I'll give you £20 and that Dragon's Quest board game.
Deal.
Oh, wow.
I saw, yeah, that was like €300, I think, on the chat.
Steve, are there dots that are a bit weird on there? Are they broken, or are they just happily flipped when it was turned off?
So when I bought it, I think it was bought because the person thought it was broken. So when I took it apart, there were some power cables that were loose. So I used my engineering whiz and plugged them back in. But yeah, there were some columns that were not working correctly. Now I heard that you could play with this with like neodymium magnets. So I played about, and they all flipped over, and then they wouldn't flip back. And then I read further, and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't really mess with magnets around it because it is quite sensitive. So apparently,
I used to do that with my parents' TV. Does anyone remember messing around with a telly with a magnet? Oh god, they weren't happy about that either.
They're very similar. I was like, turned it off and went straight to bed. Has had nothing to do with me.
So wouldn't you like induce some like power when you go over the flip dots with a magnet? When you go too fast over there, it's a coil, and then
the coil basically takes it. But it does come back.
Okay, good.
I hope so. Anyhow, I've had the demo working on it. Apparently there was a pin that you can set, and it runs like a demo, so at least I could tell that it was working and it was functional. There's a couple of columns that were always on, and playing around with the PCB looks like some dry joints, so if you just flex the PCB, it kind of came into life. So I do know it is working, it is functional. So then I went online, and there's a bunch of Arduino libraries and mostly Linux libraries. There's a lot of Raspberry Pis running these. So what it communicates on is it is with the RS845. 485, sorry. Communication, which is like an old school but very robust protocol. So it just runs. It chains up to 3 of these displays. So you've got like a front panel, a side panel, and a back panel of the bus, and it runs that communication. It needs to be solid. It needs to be robust and clear. It has a little microcontroller inside, which basically reads the serial data. It's quite old school, and it uses, I think it's ASCII, hexadecimal ASCII communication characters. I've been trying to work it out, and it's just so confusing. But there's some guys that have basically reverse engineered the protocol from the company and can send any data to it, but it uses the serial. But it only does it at like a 2 hertz refresh rate. Basically, it flushes the entire panel every time you want to update something. So what other people have then done is basically taken the microcontroller part away from it. And there's a guy called Damon or Damo, and he basically reverse engineered the PCB and figured out basically essentially like an LED matrix. You've got rows and you've got columns, and it's just a case of triggering the pins to enable the columns, enable the rows, and you can fire the 18 volt to flip a dot on or off. So he basically made his own microcontroller to power the entire board, and that can do like high refresh rates. So you can even play like Tetris. I've seen it where they've done it like the Tetris game.
That's a long Tetris.
There we go.
Oh, I so want one of these, but I'd have nowhere to put it.
How about that wardrobe behind you?
Well, look, I mean, it just wouldn't go, would it? But Steve, why haven't we seen this demo running? Why haven't you done a little video for us?
It's on my Instagram. I haven't got
Too old for Instagram.
We've already established this. Yeah.
The demo requires you to power it on.
Oh, okay. It's all about the gram, isn't it? Let's find out.
It's a while ago as well. It's not.
How do you spell Instagram?
J.
Is
Instagram is also
it.
now, isn't it?
TikTok.
Like, it used to be Instagram, then
Is that a
Snapchat, and now it's all TikTok. So we're like 3 generations behind anyway.
Snapchat was before Instagram, wasn't it?
Let's see. Has he put it on? He's put loads of his. Right. So Steve's done loads of these. He's not mentioned those.
I was going to get to that. That's more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Way to spoil it, David.
I'm so sorry, mate. How long ago was this thing? Oh, wait. Oh, I found it.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, it looks
You
cool.
you found it?
Well, I've got it on here. It's not in sync, mind, but
Pretty close.
almost.
It's pretty close to being in sync. That's cool.
Maybe, did I not like that? Oh, I liked it and I forgot.
You probably didn't.
Everybody go to Insta and like it.
Oh yeah, I didn't like it either. Sorry.
Surprised you follow me, Dave.
No, aren't you on a private channel anyways? We can't really share a link, right? I don't know. No, someone else was on a private channel, one of the makers. So you said the flip dot metrics expects like text, and then it shows the text by itself, right?
Yeah. So it's on like there's some GitHub repositories where people have basically reverse engineered the protocol and send basically the RS485 protocol from like an Arduino, and it's hexadecimal encoded ASCII text. So that's just blows my mind. It seemed very confusing. I almost got it working. I've got some RS485 modules to go with Arduinos. I started playing with it, but it just nothing would come to life. And then there's basically limitations to it. You're forcing the old microprocessor to do what it's not supposed to do, and it's quite slow and sluggish. And like I said, it refreshes the entire frame buffer every time you do an update, so it's not very efficient. So then looking at what more modern techniques have done, like this Damon guy did, I think there's a couple others, is they basically replaced the microcontroller and essentially did it like an LED matrix. So you're attacking the actual every dot. So you can refresh it. You can have a frame buffer, so you don't have to refresh the entire screen. You can just do really quick changes, and it gives a much better refresh rate. So I got the PCB. So this is one from this Damon guy.
This demo guy sounds mysterious.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Who is he?
I don't know.
Have you got other friends? It's not fair.
I'm not adding him or
friends.
anything. I'm keeping it at arm's length.
2
it's
meters apart, Steve.
oh yeah, I've got long arms. So he's made this little PCB that he runs off an ESP32, and it's got a very
nice.
He did it as a DIY version first. So he made it to do like the etching away of the copper, but he didn't like how it ended up. So he ended up getting these from GLC PCB. So it has,
high quality PCBs starting from only $2 delivery.
The only thing I don't like about that, but they round off the edges. I would always round off the edges now.
it is sharp.
Looking sharp.
So it's got all the components and various things that make it all work, and then you've got this jumper that basically connects to the actual dots, the main PCB, and yeah, it's the CMOS. Yeah, they would like that. They're all just CMOS chips, and you just stagger along the shift registers, and hit the column, hit the row, enable the dot, and away it goes. So I ordered all the bits from AliExpress, and I have everything from AliExpress go to my work. And
oh no,
yeah, a few days before the lockdown, they started to show up, and then ever since then I've been getting notifications on AliExpress saying your thing has arrived. This has arrived in the country. This thing has been delivered, but it's all been at work. So I had to make an essential trip to work to do some essential stuff, and I went to the post room and got so I've got a bag of bits, which is very exciting. So I'm going to build that and see if I can actually control it. But the last caveat is he uses the IDF, the ESP32 IDF.
Oh,
yeah, as bitluni says, it's.
You better start installing it now.
I don't even know what this thing is. Integrated development environment, I assume.
Yeah. So
What's it look like?
I presume it's framework.
SDK.
I don't think F stands for environment for sure.
What did I say?
Integrated development environment.
I just said IDE.
No, you said IDF. You're missing a slash on the end.
I was, yeah, sorry.
It's the IoT development framework.
The I stands for intelligent, of course. So smart.
Also, Israeli Defense Forces. Just in case anyone wants to know, just first thing that comes up.
So I'm going to prod people. It doesn't look too hard to. I want to create like a little library and get a. There was one guy that's done one. I think I saw it on Instagram or something. He basically made a clock using the exact same flip dot display. So I was just cheeky enough to say, it looked good. Have you got your sketch so I can work out how it works? And he was like, yeah, I'll send you it. He never did.
Oh.
So,
That's because he called it a sketch. People who don't use Arduinos just hate being called a sketch.
Oh dear, Steve, I really want you to make Snake or something with that, so that you've got like a little apple you have to go and find, and Snake could be the whole length of the board, and it'd be like click, 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 all the way down. It'd be great.
I have
saw Dave
breakouts that you
like
can
a long
use.
Pac-Man.
I love it.
Game of Life.
Yeah, that's it. Anything pixely would be good. So that's what
I saw.
Go on.
Sorry, I saw Dave's eyes light up earlier when you said hexadecimal and ASCII, because
No, it was actually 485. But yeah, no, go on.
Well, because you made me realize something when I was working on the HDP 1414, that little display, the 7-segment thing with 4 characters in, and that you'd done something years and years and years ago, and I was trying to figure it out in a video, and I was recording my screen, I think, at the time, or it was a live stream or something. Oh no, I did it all in one shot, basically. And I read your thing and then realized that the translation from ASCII to hex was exactly what the chip was looking for. So I didn't need to do anything in the IDE. I just needed to send it the hex code translation of the ASCII. So I didn't need to convert it, just need to write it to serial essentially. So it might be that you could just convert the hex from the ASCII really, really quickly by writing it rather than printing it.
So you're putting the character onto the bus?
So if it's expecting the hex on, oh, never mind. We're never going to, this isn't the time for like fine tuning everything. You've got that board now, so it's going to be so much easier.
I'm going to rip the damn microcontroller out and throw it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to put it in the attic. I'll save it for later.
I'm going to start looking for one of these flip-dot displays.
They're really good. There is this company on eBay for the UK. I think it's PSV Otter, but they're really expensive.
By the time this stream is over, they're all sold out.
Yeah. And then the modern ones, they're all the LED. There we go.
Sorry.
They
It sounds interesting to try something else and maybe get pink PCBs.
Ooh, pink. That's
I don't know. I'm looking exactly at this page now, and for 5 PCBs of 5 by 5 centimeters, it's asking for $123.
I literally did the exact same quote. Like, the exact same. And I'm looking at it too.
I mean, if it's pink, I'm going to pay for that. No. No.
But this is for green, actually.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yes, it seems...
He's probably
Piotr,
talking
how much
about,
are they paying you?
yeah, or how many boards did you actually produce with them? Because that's gonna probably have some influence on the numbers. you
Okay,
got.
what if I ask for 500 boards?
That's more like it.
Yeah, it didn't go up that much. Like 500 boards is $300, so it's 3 times the price for 10 times the amount of boards. 10 times?
Yeah, so it's not for prototypes, but for
100
production.
times the amount of boards. I'm good at maths. I went to college for 4 years.
Okay, we are already 2 hours in. Let's
I'm
Keep going.
Wow, you know it's bad when bitluni is trying to push
I was
us along.
at least trying to ask Steve if he has told everything that you wanted.
No,
I want to see
yes,
the
like-
NHS. Yeah,
show it, please.
show the NHS stuff.
So yeah, since my last visit to MakerCast, there's been some kind of pandemic happening.
You said the P word. Oh, sorry.
Corona.
Yeah, that's it. The old COVID is sweeping the world. So here in the UK, we are very short on PPE, which I think it happens in every country. But there is a 3D printing resource community. Oh, there's a lot, but there's a big main one called 3dcrowd.uk who did a GoFundMe, and there's basically a cobbled together network of people printing PPE. So they've gone with the Prusa style. There we go. This is my bodged one. So this is the Prusa PPE face
Choice.
mask. There we go. Let's have a go. This looks very attractive. God, that looks horrific.
What's the face shield made out of?
Yeah.
It's Coke.
It's a bottle.
Oh yeah,
Bottle.
it's a pet bottle.
Ah.
This is just for me. So when you're printing them and you're handling them, it's supposed to be assumed that it needs to be a clean, safe environment. So that's my prototype. These are all the frames. They're getting disinfected so I can handle them. So it's a case of printing them out. You get the tops, you get the bottoms, and this community, you actually send them to like local hubs, and they have all the real pet visor transparencies that they put together with the elastic, and then we also ship them out to all the local communities that have asked for various visors. I've done some deliveries as well, so I feel very feel like I'm trying to do my part to get things, as my fiance works.
You're a hero, mate.
I try to be. I don't feel like a hero, but I try to be. So yeah, there's that part, and then while that was going on, my printer was just been horrific. So these things are printed in PETG. PETG is the preferred plastic over PLA. It's a bit more sanitary, if that's a word, and it takes a bit more abuse. It's less chance of being brittle and breaking. But my printer was just being an absolute dog trying to print PETG to the point where I hate my printer. My printers, 3D printers are either projects or tools. Mine's a project, and it's always been a project, and it's never been a tool until it acts like a tool. So I swapped over. I was like, I'm sick of printing these masks. They're not working. I kept throwing them out. So I thought, well, I've always liked the NHS. So yeah, for anyone not in the UK, the NHS is our National Health Service. It's our free to access if you're a UK citizen or EU health service. So we hold it in very high regard here in the UK, and we hate anyone criticizing it until you use it and you realize it's a pain in the ass to use, but we love it because it's better than anything else available. So I wanted to do, there's an NHS superhero logo that's been dotted around for a few years, where they've taken this superhero Superman S symbol, but it's not an S, it's just the symbol, which happens to look like an S, according to DC comic law. So there's an NHS logo that dots about, and I thought I'd make a 3D printed keyring. So this is a multicolor, multi-layer. Let me do that. No.
It's a bit more expressive. That's it.
No. So yeah, this is a multicolor 3D print, but it's on a single nozzle. So it uses the where am I at? It uses a single nozzle layer change. So as it goes up in the layers, it goes from blue to white to yellow to red, and all of them are all staggered at different heights. So it looks like it's like a full color, but you can do it with one nozzle, which most people have. So I designed this based off the logo. I looked online. There wasn't really on Thingiverse. There was only a couple that were dotted around. I didn't like them too much. I thought I'd do a quick one. So I knocked this up just in Fusion 360. I imported the logo from some blog post some years ago, traced around it, and then just extruded it up, extruded the NHS and extruded the logo, made sure they're all different heights, sliced it in my favorite slicer, and then I just work out when the layers change. I just go into the G code, and you can import a G600 G code if your printer firmware accepts it. That is a layer change or a pause printer, and it'll go off and pause the printer, and you can change the filament. It's quite a manual thing. If you had like a Prusa multi-material thing, you could just do it in one go and just go to bed and don't worry about it. But I like to do things the hard way. So I started printing loads of these. So my fiance.
How many have you printed of them? Do you know?
I've no idea. I've lost count, but it is hundreds. Yeah, it's
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm
Do you
giving
do
away.
more than one at a time then?
Oh yeah. It does. I can get about 14 on the plate. So the first base color, that'll take quite a few hours, and it's just a case of setting it off, and then I know by the end of the day I need to go change it to white, and then the yellow and the red take like 10-20 minutes for a full plate. So
what layer height are you printing in? That sounds like
yeah, these are 0.15, so it's quite nice quality. I didn't want them to look rubbish.
I would print it with a 0.8 nozzle, and then
just one layer.
One layer. Just print them. One wall. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. It will be probably okay. Yeah, but
it should be.
Pretty cool.
You've already sold it to them, and you're running with the money.
That's my thing, though. I always come in with a good idea after everything is done.
So my fiance has been giving them out a lot to the hospitals here in the north. She's been quite demanding, to be honest, with the with the color choices. So as well as the blue, yeah. So I managed to get my printer working with PETG, so I've been doing all these PPE masks, but I've got loads of different PLA colors.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like it. The pink looks good.
Yeah, I didn't want to do pink because I thought pink and yellow and red don't work, but then I did it. I was like, wow, that is actually cool. And obviously, nurses being nurses, they want to look.
Oh, those male nurses.
Yeah, I didn't know it sounds sexist, but you know, most of her friends are girls, and they are girly girls. They do love the pink thing, but I've done them in like Vertigo Galaxy, so it's like a black base. That looked good. So it's like shimmery gold. This one is Filamentum Arctic Blue, so it's actually transparent. You can see the. You can see it's like see-through. No, I'm not selling them. As soon as I released them, everyone was saying, "Oh, I'll buy one. I'll buy one." I was like, "Well, I'm not actually trying to make money." So I sent everyone to the donate link on 3D Crowd UK, just saying, you know, just donate to.
You have the file out there, right? So anyone.
Sorry, it's on Thingiverse. If you search Thingiverse for NHS superhero, this should pop up as number 1 because I've been trying to hammer it. Not many people have liked it, so yeah. If you are on Thingiverse, flip and like it.
Oh yeah,
I will. I'm on there now. I'm going there.
When I did it,
I tell you,
I was quite
If the
positive.
website stays up long enough.
It's horrible. Yeah, that's the segue. The new Thingiverse website is worse than the previous one.
I can think of some other 3-letter acronyms with an S on the end that you could use these badges for and make some money. It's like BHS. That's British Home Stores in the UK.
Are they still open?
No, but you know they're heroes. I don't know. There could be some other ones.
No,
I don't know.
So I had a big struggle with the blue color as well. I had this old blue that I had from my very first printer, which was a PrinterBot, like a plywood printer. It came with this blue filament, which was manufactured in 2014. It has a sticker on, so it's old filament. Like it feels like a couple of years ago, but it's not. It's almost like a decade or something. But it's terrible filament, but it printed really, really good, and it's really good blue. So then I ran out of that. I thought I'd only print like 10 of these, but like hundreds later, I'm still printing. So I managed to find this blue, which is Extruder. It's that brand Extruder, and it's NX2 blue. If anyone is interested, he wants a nice NHS. NHS blue is quite like a matte blue. It's not baby blue.
That is a perfect blue. That looks great.
It's Christopher Reeve's blue. That's pretty nice.
I was really and it's very Superman. So I was really chuffed with it. I got another one. I've got one. I was desperate. I asked someone emailed me and asked if I could print some for like what do you call them, care packages for nurses. I was like, yeah. I've run out of blue. I'm just waiting for some blue. And I quickly got some blue on Amazon. It's like the only one that was in stock, and it's like shiny baby blue, and it doesn't even look good on camera. It looks even worse in person.
It looks metallic.
Yeah, it's like a silk PLA, and it looks nice. If you like it, it's nice, but it's not NHS.
I like blue.
Yeah. I like this Filamentum Arctic blue. It's really nice. It looks good. See-through. Let me show you. I'm gonna fake the magic here. So you can see it. It's very see-through. It's really cool. But yeah. So yeah, it's on Thingiverse. I've not made a single penny off it. It was just something I wanted to do. My girlfriend has been giving them away. She's been coming back with a lot of good stories of basically like doctors and surgeons practically tackling her down on the ward, saying, "Are you the keyring lady? Are you the keyring lady? Where do I get these keyrings from?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like a wheeler dealer. She's like, "Yeah, what do you want? Do you want pink? Do you want blue? Do you want green?" And she's giving them away. We did the green ones. It's a quite sad story. One of the ambulance service for the UK is green rather than the blue. So I've got some darker green, But one of the ambulance drivers, or one of the actual ambulance paramedics, sadly died up here in the north of COVID-19. So it was quite a poignant thing. So I managed to get some green, and we did loads of green ones, just kind of in his honor, and they went down really well. So we were quite proud of doing that one for them. So yeah, it's an unusual cause, but I feel like I'm doing something. So yeah. Like it on Thingiverse, make me feel better. And no, I'm not selling them, despite everyone was saying they wanted to buy it off me. I was like, no. I've posted them. I've got some friends up north who's asked for them, so yeah, I've posted them up north. Just getting the message out. Everyone seems to like it. And they're our heroes at the moment. And that's it. That's me. That's me done.
I think Arturo posted a link in the chat to Steve's Thingiverse page. So if you've all got a bit of time after the stream's over, if you can pop over there and leave a like, maybe tweet about it, that'd be really nice.
That's the one.
Oh yeah.
You can see the vertical gold on there as well.
Really weird. I really don't know if I hit like, because it's still just
the
outline.
It's just
it changes to red.
Yeah, but it's not
Very
filled red, so I'm not sure if I have pressed like, but it's red, so I'm pretty sure I pressed like.
If it's red, you've pressed like.
Yeah, but then you refresh the page and it's not red anymore. So I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's still red.
Lots of people have, because it was 7 when I looked at it
Like-
before. So
I can't even see how many likes it has.
Then everyone just should, tweet the link or something like that.
I double clicked it to be sure. So that's
Oh
fine.
yeah, it's really not red anymore.
It is a terrible site what they've done. When I initially saw the update, I was like, "Oh, they've updated it. It's gonna be good." And it's like, it still doesn't work. It's still not great.
I feel a little
Sometimes
bit
it's
sorry
faster.
for Thingiverse.
Well, they shouldn't be running their whole website on a Raspberry Pi, should they? It's just slow as shit.
Okay, make a competitor. As in, if there was money or anything to be made out of having a good
that's true.
website, there
I
would
just
be one.
noticed. No one speak for a second. Hi, James. I had to do this because there's someone from my makerspace in there in the chat. I just saw.
Hi,
Hey,
I
James.
always have to-
Hi, mate.
Whenever he comes into the hackerspace and sees me, he's like, "Hi, Dave," and I'm like, "Hi, James," and I miss it. I miss James.
Where is James in the chat? Let's see.
James?
him.
Is Sonic Alchemy Makerspace.
Oh,
Well, that's his channel. But
right.
Sonic Alchemy. There
He's
he
been
is.
there for a while.
Yeah, he has.
just saw him. I'm sorry, James. You didn't say
Sorry,
hi, James, to me
James.
loud, and I didn't hear it. I was probably on the Lough. Why did I bring it up again? I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I'm just afraid because technically it's my turn, but we're already at 2 hours and half an hour, and but maybe just a little story because it also has RS485 in it. Stop laughing, please.
Would you like to know what the longest maker cast so far has been, just so you know what you're aiming for?
I hope it's
gotta be-
one of Sion's maker casts, please.
It was Collins. He's in the chat. There he is.
Oh.
It was Collins maker cast. That was 2 hours and 27 minutes and 11 seconds long.
We did.
You can do it.
We
And
did.
we're getting there. Only 5 more minutes, and then that's it.
We had Jerry on that.
Get another beer.
No. So it's just a quick story from work actually. I was sending prototypes to a customer and it always got sent back after a while because it broke. And it's a controller for lockers. So you would scan in with our software. It's an RFID based system. It asks the cloud, hey, is this person allowed to open the locker? And if so, which one? Stuff like that. And it was communicating over RS485. And I've never done this before. So it worked here when I had my prototype all set up and stuff. But I never had the locks on the power supply as well. And the locks are the cheapest stuff that you can get on AliExpress. So it's just a coil. So for me, it worked because my relay boards were talking RS-485, and they just clicked open and closed again, and everything worked fine, and it worked the next day and stuff like that. Yeah, but it wouldn't work at my customer. So when we had the third controller sent back, I was like, something is different. And the only thing that was different was the coil-based locks on there that the customer had, but I hadn't. And then I just noticed everything was working off the same power supply. And whenever you fire 12 volts into the coils of the locks, at one point you would kind of destroy all the power supplies or everything that's also on the 12 volts, because you would induce voltages into the power lines, and then everything kind of breaks. And it took a long time for us to figure that out, that the actual locks would need a diode to not backfire but work the power out on themselves. So I always...
That's a rookie mistake. That's a rookie mistake.
For a year, I was like, oh, fuck, I really don't know what I'm doing with RS-485. I'm sorry that I dropped the F word, but it's late enough. I don't care. But yeah.
Your channel.
Right, exactly. No, it's a free... No. But yeah, I was always doubting myself, and I had no idea what's going on. And I was like thinking, oh, maybe it's the cables. Maybe they are too long, and maybe they need a resistor at the end because you need to kind of have the impedance of the wires and stuff. And no, it was just the coil backfiring of the locks that were opened and closed. And now it works. So
yeah, you have to do it on stream. You have to work on stream. Then the people will point this out, like they did on my pick and place where I did the mistake.
Yeah. So probably not many people on Twitter are aware, but they helped me a lot on work stuff. Just yeah. I just ask like, that's weird, and shouldn't this work? Or there's always someone who wants to be right, who wants to explain something to you. And if you just say like you are right about something, people will correct you, or they just come up with something that could go wrong. And you have to appreciate that as well.
Or people are hinting you off that you bought the wrong power supply or something.
Yeah, you just have to listen to valuable feedback.
That is a tactic, right? That like one of the best ways of getting advice on the internet is to explain how to do something wrong.
Yeah, provoke.
Yeah, you just give the wrong answer, and someone well actually.
That's the idea, or just
all of that comments.
Question that is so like make it as stupid as possible, but also kind of explain everything that you want people to know, because they still have to help you in the right way. So give enough information, but do it in a way that people think you're stupid.
I have to say that you are stupid. No, I have to say Twitter, like for me at the moment, is amazing. Like just so many times if I have questions on stuff, I can just ask a question and people will respond. Like there is a community or whatever of like the electronic people or angry people.
A real big celebrity. So
that's
you have
me.
people that following you.
Yeah, it comes from Mr.
How many followers do you have?
bitluni. I've like
not on Twitter.
3,100. 3,100
on Twitter.
3,100.
Exactly 3,100.
That is loads.
That is a lot.
50% more than me.
50% more than you. Okay, I'll trade you some Twitter followers for YouTube subscribers. How about that? Okay. Fair transaction.
YouTubers talking about YouTuber stuff.
I see. Twitter is easier for me to do because I can do it on my phone. It takes like a few seconds.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's great. And I'd like to thank anybody who helps me on Twitter. Thank you. Or helps anybody on Twitter and is generally nice on Twitter. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
We did it. Congratulations, Dave.
So now it's time for the quiz that I haven't prepared.
Yeah.
No.
That would be amazing if you pulled out a quiz right now.
No. No. I'm sorry.
We should have a game where you just show yourself on the screen and we all try to do a bitluni. Hi, and we'll see if the people can guess who bitluni is. I'm joking.
I didn't understand that.
We don't show who's talking, and we just like person A says hi. Bitluni.
Okay.
But no, that's not going to work. Especially when you need to explain jokes.
Oh,
That's
Looney's
not
not
the
happy
best.
about this. He's not convinced that was a good impression. I think that's it.
Bitluni, what's the name of that song?
Yes, please tell me that too.
Which song? Oh, yeah, that's Andrew Blake. Power Up.
That's on the YouTube thing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Andrew-
power up. I've
I have
stolen it.
I can
I
give a link.
to
You can
YouTube.
download it. It's like, I don't know if YouTube licensed it or if it is not public domain, but you don't. Yeah, I now mention all the tracks that I use for my videos
Do you?
below the video. So for the last two videos, all the tracks are listed in chronological order.
Because I went through like some of the ones that I found, and I found a few bitluni songs. Like, but I just didn't
What?
find
In my ears.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
But then he was streaming. Jeremy
Sorry?
Blake. No.
What was the guy's name? The person who did it?
Andrew Blake. No, not
Andrew.
Andrew Blake. Andrew Blake is the porn.
Just Googled that.
What?
Oh, you mean Jeremy Blake? Maybe?
Yes,
Jeremy Blake.
Jeremy Blake. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh my lord. Oh,
No,
I'm looking it up too. Hang
no,
on a minute.
I'm got.
Which one, Dave? Which one are you looking
Incognito
up?
mode. It's going to share my screen. Is that all right? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's Power Up by Jeremy Blake. Sorry.
That's a porn star face. So
Even Brian is red now.
I'm not right. I don't give a shit.
God.
All right. It's now time for the porn star quiz.
Okay, guys. I think.
Yeah.
This guy.
Someone suggested that I should do a Ben Heck quiz. I don't think that makes any sense. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Paul.
You still have 65 people watching. There's momentum here.
It's not me. It's probably Steve.
Oh.
Jeremy.
Okay, then
And
I have a
tape.
question.
Okay.
Okay,
Who has a question?
I have a
Oh
question.
my lord.
Oh, Arturo.
Yes.
Arturo-san. Should I make you?
No. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Discuss.
Ooh, end stream.
No. I wouldn't
Yeah, I
say
agree. No,
no.
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
see
lasagna.
why.
because the bun isn't split in half. It isn't like
Is a
two
burger a
pieces of
sandwich?
bread or anything.
But isn't it just an
Burger
open
sandwich.
sandwich, like one bread and you have a ham on it? That's a sandwich. So this
Is
is
a
just like
burger a
a
sandwich?
curved sandwich.
It's one piece. The bread is one piece in a hot dog.
But
Is a
Exactly.
burger a sandwich?
2 pieces? Isn't it?
A burger is a sandwich. The idea about a sandwich is two things coming together, isn't it? So it's two different things sandwiched together, compressed. But if it's one thing, then you're not sandwiching it, you're folding it. So I think a hot dog is not a sandwich.
It's a Stulle.
Stuhl.
That's German.
Is that another porn term?
I don't know. That's a German, yeah, probably as well. But No,
It's
yeah,
like it's a
It's a
kebab,
side
a sandwich. No.
it's one
Yeah,
piece, so it's the same like a hot dog. Okay, yeah, I see people dropping out.
Brian,
It's a number going down.
No,
I really want the kebab. Will you post me one, Dave? Do you think it'd stay in the postal service?
It'll stay in the postal service. Yeah. What?
It'll be good by the time it gets there. Post is very slow at the moment.
Oh, I've just seen there's an unexpected maker in the chat. I didn't know he was here.
Oh, he's here.
He's been here for a little while.
Hey, Sion.
Should we prolong this and get Sion in here?
oh,
Then we
think
have
it's-
to-
we can only have like
Cut
6
six.
people. Yeah, but I can leave then and go to the
Yeah, you
toilet.
could swap me out because I've
Alrighty.
run out of beer now. I need a top up if we're going to continue.
Wait, I can replace Looney there.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a loony laugh. How did I make that?
Yeah,
Lady.
he uses OBS.
Ooh.
Bitluni forgot that the music was playing in his last trash stream, and I heard parts of that song that I've
Yeah.
never heard before.
Oh yeah, in the last video there is like almost the whole song, and I used parts like they sound really different. It's only like the first 10 seconds that I use for the intro.
And then the other bits that you heard were all the Andrew Blake bits, right?
Yeah.
That whole soundtrack. There must be a few interesting bits in that.
Okay.
All right. So
I love being so awkward about this. It's so great.
Let's wrap it up. I need to leave.
Yeah. So Sion doesn't want to be in here anyway, so we could wrap this up. If everyone is fine with that, I'm fine with that. Yes.
Yeah, we're all happy. You do what you like.
63.
It's your show.
Yeah, you
Should
should
we-
host.
You
Keep it
are
on.
the-
Make Looney suffer?
64.
No. Hey, it got more. It was 60 before, so people no.
Yeah, people are enjoying the banter.
Yeah, my question was that. Now I know.
Pull it back together.
But Looney, you
right.
can jump out for a second and come back. I mean,
And then we just let's just draw a line here. Let's just finish it up.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Then does anyone have any good finishing words?
Yeah. Well, not finishing words, but I would like to say well done, Dave, for hosting your first MakerCast. You did a good job.
Yeah.
You put up with
Finally,
all of these reprobates. So thank you very much for doing it. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was. I think it was fun. I hope I never have to watch this again. But yeah. So
Also, since it's the first time that we've done the MakerCast on your channel, Dave, hello to all Dave Darko subscribers. Subscribe to Brian. It's hard. Left and right is difficult. And everyone else, but not me. Thanks. I'm all right.
Yeah, and every visitor subscribe to
Dave's channel.
Dave's
Yes.
channel.
Yes. No.
that makes sense.
Yes.
All right.
Why would you single me out? Dave?
Anyone who knows me, sorry, because you said subscribe to me, so I was like,
No,
okay,
I
well, I'll
was
just let you.
trying to subscribe to Dave Darko.
Yeah,
'cause-
everyone
And-
subscribe to Dave.
Dave does a lot of stuff on Element 14 Presents.
Yes, he does.
Amazing hacks.
Creative. No, sorry. I no.
I have
I
one
always skip it. I
question
don't
left.
know what it
I have
is
one
anymore.
question left.
That's
Where
not
is Ben
happening
Heck?
right now. No, it's
Well, yeah,
just
where is-
melody.
Where is Ben Heck?
He's on a sticker somewhere that says "Where's Ben?" Where?
Okay.
No.
Okay. I have some final words.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay.
If you can't be good, be careful. That's all.
Okay.
Not bad.
And if you can't be careful, be safe.
Stay healthy.
And I will see you next time.
See you next
And
time.
I will see. Yeah. Let's take a look at
See you
some
next time. Bye.
Don't Google Andrew Blake.
You stole Great Scott's thing.
Sickets.
You just
Okay.
put it at a different pitch.
Come on, guys.
Let's just wave.
Bye,
Bye everyone.
It's been fun.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
watching
much.
us.
Bye.
Bye.